caught on the brakes. Koenigsegg, yep, he's got the advantage, but unironically, the average ducks to the inside. What a move! But Koenigsegg accelerating back on the outside. And there goes Salty Bonkos to the inside. Bashing door panels, sparks flying, smoke spraying. The Butler is going to go wide. Salty Bonkos on the inside. They're a little bit off the pace, but now accelerating all 500 horsepower. Race fans all around the globe, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are. And thank you so much for tuning in to X-Venture here live on Twitch TV as we get ready for the Season 37 finale of the Forza Spec Racing Series in the 2005 BMW M3. And for the first time in our broadcast of this season, we've got a new name atop the leaderboard. It's been Cratrim ever since coming out of week number 1, but now out of week 4 into this 5th and final week, it is RZM McQueen at 290 to Cratrim's 285, and that's up against Stevie Superstacks 267. Stevie is in on the race today, does have a chance to win the championship, but a lot of things have to work in Stevie's favor to make that happen. McQueen, Cratrim, I think you can figure it out there. As long as either of them win the race and then their opponent is, well, in McQueen's case, all he has to do is win the race and he's good. In Cratrim's case, he has to win the race and then McQueen, I believe, further back than third position. Cratrim actually sorted it all out for me over on Discord earlier on in the week. And, yeah, the stipulations for Cratrim to win the championship, mind you, his 10th championship, he would have to finish first, or he can finish second with McQueen finishing 4th or lower, and then he can finish 3rd or 4th with McQueen finishing 5th or lower, or if McQueen finishes 6th or lower in any other scenario. So a lot of different ways that this could play out, which makes tonight's racing action all that much more exciting because it's not a foregone conclusion. Sometimes we roll into these here in the Forza Spec Racing Series where it is basically all sorted. We know who the champion is going to be in really the 5th and final week. The 9th race of the season is just kind of a shootout for the fun of it. But things are not rolling that way here tonight. It's going to take us all the way up to the end, 30 laps out at Sebring, and we'll talk about the track here in just a moment. We do have 17 of the 23 spots available on the grid filled out. So drivers, if you are listening to me now and you're seeing the broadcast and either you're logging in or you're thinking about participating in this race, please do. Obviously, the more drivers we have out there on the track, the better the racing action and entertainment oftentimes is. By the way, we've got a few folks who are already casting their vote with regards to whether or not McQueen will qualify on pole. Please use your Twitch channel points here on X-Venture. Cast your vote. Will McQueen qualify on pole? Answer that question with a yes or a no. You can cast the minimum, which I think is 10 channel points, or you can cast as many channel points as you have to your name. And why that is especially helpful here today, because if you happen to win the Twitch prediction and you get the pot of the channel points going in your favor, well, then guess what? You can use those to redeem 1,000 for an entry into our fall raffle, which ends tonight. Tonight is the final opportunity for you to earn the channel points up until 10 p.m. Eastern time. And then after that point, we will randomly select one lucky entrant to win their choice of the PlayStation Store, the Xbox, or the Steam digital gift card in the amount of $50. If you are outside of the United States, know that the PlayStation Store and the Xbox, I believe, are region locked to the United States, so you might want to avoid those and go for the Steam card. The Steam card is not regionally locked and will be converted from my 50 American dollars to whatever your currency is. So use this opportunity now with the Twitch prediction. If you don't think that you're going to make up 1,000 channel points here by the end of the race, and you want to enter the raffle because it only takes one entry, it only takes one to have a chance to win, then use the Twitch prediction as an opportunity to maybe get the channel points that you need to get yourself a raffle entry. No purchase necessary whatsoever. And the more entries you cast, the more chances you have to win. All right. So there was the standings a bit ago. We'll take a look at those in just a moment. But there's another piece I want to share with you, and it has to do with tonight's race, in that it's different from what we've seen all throughout the rest of Season 37. Everything before us has been in the dry. Yeah, there was the night race out at Circuit de la Sarthe on the old Mulsanne, but here at Sebring, it is going to be wet, heavy rain at the start. Mid-race, things will let up momentarily, or at least they'll let up at this point here at mid-race, cloudy skies, and then there's the 40% chance of rain at race end. So who knows? Maybe mid-race will signify the point at which the race will be dry for the remainder, or there's that 40% chance that we will see the rain come back, moderate rain at that, with the dropping of the checkered flag. So that is going to weigh into things. That's going to kind of mix it up and make it interesting out there as we see the drivers get around Sebring for 30 laps, the full circuit at that, all 30 laps on the full circuit, which I love because I'm a big fan of the full Sebring circuit, not any of the short tracks. Back to the standings, just to remind you as to where everything stands. Oh, and by the way, let me not forget mentioning that RZ and McQueen right now is on a 4-race winning streak and is looking to make it 5 in a row. So essentially the whole back half of the season looking to claim not only the championship here in Season 37, but also the whole back end of the schedule. That's pretty nuts. So McQueen looking to do that, and if he is successful in winning the championship in Season 37, regardless if he wins tonight's race, if he ends up with the championship, then he will have it to his name for the first time ever in the Forza Spec Racing Series. And McQueen, I think, has been running in 3 to include Season 37. And so that's always a pretty special thing whenever you can pick up your first championship in any season or any series, and especially with the amount of competition that there is here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. By the way, if you want to keep up to date with what's going on with Season 38, it's not yet been announced, but all the details, everything you need to know, they can be found over at reddit.com/r/FM4. So head over there, and even if you aren't necessarily looking for that info right now, but you want to be at the ready for Season 38, you want to participate, you want to be involved, head on over there, bookmark the page, so that way when they do announce the Season 38 details, you're on it. You're Johnny on the spot, you're getting your car prepped, you're registered, and you're ready to go. What do we have here? Sober David, subscribed for 7 months, says, insert car engine noises here. Maybe I should change up the sound. You triggered the pit lane entry alarm is what you had there. I should change up the sounds. Maybe for Season 38, I'll throw in some new sounds. How about that? All right, here we go. Qualifying, and the moderate rain is already... Well, actually, this is the heavy rain. This is the heavy rain in Forza Motorsport 7, and the drivers are getting no reprieve. They're getting the rain here in qualifying in addition to the front half of the race. And so we'll see what kind of times everybody's able to lay down here. Again, I can't stress it enough. Use our Twitch predictor poll. It's an easy way to get engaged and have fun with the channel. Yeah, it's a little bit of wagering, but they're channel points. You get them by watching the broadcast, and that's all there is to it. There is no money on the line. So think whether or not McQueen is going to qualify in the pole position. If you think he is, select yes. If you think not, then select no. and throw as many of those channel points toward that decision as you'd like. And then those who get it correctly will get the points in their name. I didn't say you had to change the alert noise. I just didn't want to go vroom. No worries, Sober David. I probably should, just so that they're fun and they make people excited about maybe pressing that subscribe button if they know that there's a new alert. Maybe that's what I'll do for season 38 is I'll put a different alert on every broadcast, all 5 weeks. Who knows? All right, let me throw some stats here in the bottom left-hand corner. Although the cars have not yet gotten around the track, it is going to take a little bit here, being the Sebring full circuit, as we see Chaos Fox now coming out of Tower there on the back end of the track. Going to hit this pseudo back straightaway before you come out of Le Mans, and then really hit the back straightaway toward Sunset Bend. And it's kind of an awkward rain because you see some peaks of blue, or the blue peeking through portions of the cloud coverage. But yeah, it is quite stormy. Actually, a nice little storm out there in the background of the track here out at Sebring, Florida. Maybe different subs, different sounds for different sub lengths. That I thought about too. When I initially started putting the sub sounds in there, I really didn't have any reason to go to other options in terms of sounds. But now that some of y'all, I mean, you got 7 months to your name. I know DWM Frog, I think, well over 12 months, and others are right around that or close to it. Maybe I should look to changing those up so you guys hear something different when you've reached a certain threshold. Now across the line, Chaos Fox with a 246, only to be beaten there by Funtang with a 243.584 on the standing start. Let's go ahead and get our eyes on another driver out here. Let's go to RZM McQueen, currently sitting with the 9th quickest time, has not yet come across the line. And when he does, he sets a field beating 239.330, or at least he's beaten half the field here, with a few cars now coming across the line and a few yet to do so here in just a moment. And so McQueen already off to a good start, and I think, oh, nope, submissions are closed. So even if you guys wanted to maybe ante up on your pick there, you can't. Submission closed. We will get another Twitch prediction poll up just ahead of the race, the Sebring full 30-lap race. Here comes RZM McQueen now, charging down to what they call hairpin. I believe they've officially called this hairpin, although it's more of just an entry into a slow entry into a chicane. But hey, what do I know? I'm not the creator. I'm not the track creator. Here comes Z827 out in front of RZM McQueen because it is qualifying. They will be ghosted, so RZM McQueen can make a move here, and sure enough, he does exactly that. All right, I see we're almost evenly split here on the Twitch prediction. 51% of the voters said yes, McQueen will qualify on pole. I should say qualify for pole position. And 49% of you say no, he won't. Well, here he comes now out of Le Mans. Going to make the run down the back straightaway. Got to be careful. There's a few areas on this track, because there's no real camber to any of these corners. There's quite a few areas where you can get caught up in a puddle, a little hydroplane action, lose your braking, so you don't get to brake as hard as you thought you would because your tires got submerged there in water. It's not as bad as it was in Forza Motorsport 6, I will say. However, Forza Motorsport 6 and maybe even Forza Motorsport 5 seem to have been, like, even the slightest shower was apparently masked by some sort of deluge that just left the track soaking wet. And by that, I mean they had turn 10 had like puddles just riddled, or the track riddled with puddles. That seems to have been adjusted a bit as we got into Forza Motorsport 7. DOR carryout now crossing the line. RZ and McQueen with a 2:35.971. So unless anybody's able to do anything here on this third and final lap, RZ and McQueen will find himself on pole here for the 9th and final race of season 37. Live Loft or Live Loft, whichever one. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Great to have you here on a Tuesday. Enjoying some racing. And the final time that we'll see the 2005 M3 in the Forza Spec Racing Series. 276 horsepower, 289 foot-pounds of torque, 3,678 pounds of curb weight, bringing it in at a C500. And you might be thinking, well, that's odd, Dustin, because I know for sure my BMW M3 of the 2005 model year starts out in B class. And you're telling me that they're running in C class? Well, it's because they opted to drop in the 2.6-liter inline-six twin-turbo motor, thus lowering the vehicle's overall performance. And then they put some upgrades to it to bring it up to C500. But all throughout the season, the drivers have been telling us that it's been one heck of a car to drive. And by that, I mean it's been fun. It's been enjoyable. That the car turns, not an exorbitant amount of understeer or oversteer. Pretty grippy, considering it weighs a little more than 3.5 thousand pounds. We see Joe Beardy making his way down the back straightaway. Here comes RZ and McQueen across the line and does not improve his time. Stays at a 2:35, but unless anybody has something to say about it here, like I said, he will be on pole for the start of the finale. Oh, by the way, let's do this. Whoops. Let me try it again. Let me try it again. There we go. Sober David there. There's your full acknowledgement. The graphic down below, 7 months. And Live Loft or Live Loft with the follow. All right, so the drivers will hop back out into the main lobby. We'll take a look at those qualifying times to try to make sense of where the drivers are. It is a little bit difficult since in Forza Motorsport 7 you can't sort by best lap. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Sober David says, progress. Yeah, I know. I don't have an alert for any of the other screens because I don't necessarily want the alert to like cover up any of the other info that I might be displaying. Uh-oh. Did we get stuck? Uh-oh. All right, let me, looks like my Forza has crashed. I wonder if anybody else's did too. Is it only me? And I wonder, hopefully it didn't crash for everybody else, because if it did, I would wonder if Slow was able to take note of everybody's qualifying spot. Did Forza crash, or are you just saying that because it crashed for me? Enraged Barney says, I'm waiting for the points to roll in on my bet. It may be. We're going to see here if the results hold up. I feel like maybe it was only my Forza that crashed and not everybody else's, so those times should be good. Maybe Slow Motion Fire or somebody who is of the racing lobby can confirm with me that those qualifying times are good. Looks like it's only me. Thank you, Caster. I appreciate it. Well, good to know. I would rather it just be me than it be everybody, and then you guys have to do qualifying all over again. All right, so the outcome of our Twitch prediction for qualifying, will McQueen qualify on pole? The answer is yes, he will. He most certainly will. And if you give me a second here, I'm just trying to get my game back up and running so that everything is good. All right, so choose outcome. McQueen did, in fact, qualify on pole. All right, our next prediction will be this. Who will win the Season 37 championship? The big question of the night. Will it be McQueen, or will it be Cratrium, or anyone else? Yeah, we'll do that. I could just say or anyone else, but I want to give Cratrium the credit he is due by actually acknowledging his name and then allowing you guys to say whether or not you think it's Cratrium or someone else. They only have the option to do two choices. You can only pick from two options. They haven't expanded upon that, so that's all we get. Let's go ahead and bring in here as we look at the qualifying results there on the screen. Let's go ahead and bring Grim into the driver's spotlight. Grim, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Dustin. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's looking a little soupy out there, and it will be for the first part of the race here before things let up in terms of the rain, and then maybe there's a chance it'll show up again a little bit later on. How much adjusting in terms of your driving style have you had to make with the 2005 BMW M3 to accommodate the wetter conditions?
Not that much. I'm actually using a slight variation of the tune that I set up for Bathurst. There's a little more aero on this one, but it's working out pretty well for me. I mean, yeah, my time isn't really anything to brag about, but compared to my practice yesterday that I was doing in the wet before I made these slight adjustments before qualifying tonight, I'm doing a couple seconds better.
Okay, very good to hear. And is there any particular part of the track? Sebring, it's kind of a staple here in Forza Motorsport. I believe it's been in the game for as long as the franchise has existed. Is there any particular part of this track that if we were to say, all right, let's go turn our camera to Grim and see how well he's going to get through here, an area that you exceed in out at Sebring?
I think I do pretty good at that first really tight turn. That's not it's not called a hairpin, is it? I'm bad at terminology. I'm sorry.
No, that you're talking about the first one off the start line?
No, I have to shift all the way down to second gear, and that's the only part of the whole track I have to go down that low.
Well, so I think they call it a hair. I think Sebring officially calls it their hairpin. I don't think it to be one, but they do.
That one can be kind of hit or miss for me. Lately, I've been hitting it. Another part is that very last sweeping turn toward the start-finish during qualifying. I don't know if you caught it, but I actually drifted a little bit on my outlap. I kept it on the track, and I kept it clean, but it was definitely drifting.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I would expect that to maybe happen quite a bit out here. I don't know if the rain slicks provide – well, I'm sure they do provide that much more grip than what you would normally get from the racing tires in-game. That being said, have you kind of tested out what will happen to the tires if at midpoint it stops raining and then that carries on through the rest of the race? Does that change up? Not that you would know whether or not it's going to stop or whether it's going to rain or not at the end of the race, but how have you adjusted or set up your pit strategy to accommodate either a dry race for the remainder, the two-thirds, or dry and then wet again?
I did a quick test yesterday. I only did about 10 laps instead of the 30, but I had the weather conditions and everything set up to just kind of train a bit. I'm more worried about the fuel than the tires, honestly. I think after my 10-lap stint, my tires were only at about 12%, but my fuel after 10 laps was about halfway. So my pit strategy is going to involve somewhere between lap 15 and 18, I think.
Okay, and then as we were looking at the qualifying times, Fox Jason D was one name that stuck out at me. He had a 2:45 to your 2:43. Is it Fox Jason D, or is there somebody else out there on the track that we can expect you to be kind of bumper to bumper, maybe neck to neck, wheel to wheel with here throughout the race?
We have a little group within it. It's me, Fox, Jason D, Barney. We call ourselves the Mullet because it's the business in the front, but we're the party in the back. So usually between the three of us, it's pretty good. That's all three of us were fighting back at Le Mans too, pretty heavily with each other.
The mullet, the explanation of the mullet, business in the front, party in the back, that's about as old an adage as there's been in terms of what people say about hairstyles. But repurposing it to be an analogy for you guys at the back of the pack, I absolutely love it. Grim, great chatting with you. Best of luck out here on the track for the 30 laps around Sebring.
Thank you, Dustin.
All right, so Grim's going to get out there, do the best he can in the rainy conditions, although he's saying, hey, I didn't have to make much adjustments to the car, and as far as the handling goes, my driving style, I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to be that bad. A little bit of sliding out the back end of the car, but that's to be expected. You're putting almost 300 horsepower to those rear wheels, or about 2 3/4 back there on those rear wheels in the wet. It's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. All right, here you go. One last glance at the standings heading into the 9th and final race of the season. Yes, it is Arzia McQueen who shows up at the top of the leaderboard for the first time here in season 37, coming out of week number 4, where he picked up the win both out at the Nürburgring GP and at Road Atlanta. And that's coming off of 2 weeks where he also won, that's coming off a week in week 3 where he won out at Circuit de la Sarthe, the old Mulsanne, and then Rio de Janeiro, the mini circuit in reverse. So yes, Arzia McQueen trying to go back to back tonight. 5 wins in a row if he could pull it off out here at Sebring. And then more importantly, trying to pick up his first ever Forza Spec Racing Series championship. By the way, Solus710, thank you so much for the follow. I don't know if I had the right screen up, so while I have the correct screen up, let me go ahead and trigger your alert again there at the bottom. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully you have a great rest of your time here. And by all means, both you and Live Loft or Live Loft, if you want to say hi there in our pit lane, the Twitch chat as it's otherwise known, feel free to do so. Love to engage with the viewers here in the race and all throughout the broadcast. And yes, at the conclusion of tonight's race, we will have a champion. We will talk to more of our drivers in the driver's spotlight, and we will be giving away to one lucky viewer here on X Venture who has redeemed an entry. We'll be giving away a $50 digital gift card of choice, Xbox, PlayStation, or Steam. You got to be entered to win, though. Use those channel points, that wrench that's at the bottom of your chat. 1,000 points gets you an entry. Every 1,000 points thereafter is another entry. The more entries you have, the higher the chances of winning for you. And by the way, I can't say this without I can't talk about the raffles and the giveaways without saying this, although oftentimes I do. So my foul. But those giveaways, those raffles are all thanks to the folks who have gone above and beyond with their subscriptions, either through Twitch Prime or through a monetary contribution. That supports the channel greatly, and there's no reason, absolutely no reason for me to pocket that money. I put it back into the broadcast, either in the form of production or, like I said, for raffles. So happy to be giving back here this evening. All right, here we go. We got them all lined up on the line. It's quite dark out there. Arzia McQueen will be out the first to depart, and it looked like Fear the Fun didn't notice and was late to get on the accelerator. Almost had somebody run right into the back of him and kick the tires, light the fires in the rain out here at Sebring. We're underway for the 9th and final time here in Season 37 of the Forza Spec Racing Series. Crate back there in second position. Carryout is in third. Behind him, it's Stevie Superstack. Good to see him back out on the track after his absence there in week number 4. Audrex in 5th. Fear the Fun is in 6th. Joe Beardy in 7th. Kuda is in 8th. Barney and Chaos Fox 9th and 10th respectively. Underneath the Corvette, well, it used to be a Corvette bridge. Now it's just Chevrolet, but there they go. And heading toward the hairpin where Carryout was telling me, yeah, it is called the hairpin here at Sebring. I get it. I just don't see it as that. Here comes Craytrim. He has caught up within about a half car length here of the 2005 BMW M3, trying to keep on the bumper there of McQueen, not let him go too quickly. 30 laps, it's a long race, but if McQueen says sayonara, I don't know what sayonara means, but sayonara, then that could be it. That might be the last time that you see him. So you want to keep tabs. Of course, being that it is the endurance race, the finale here in FM4, and it is a 30-lap race, that means that pit strategy will come into the picture like we had talked about with Grimm. So we'll see when everybody goes in. We should have rain here for about 10 laps at the minimum, and then it'll go away, and then it could either come back or not. 40% chance of moderate rain there toward the end of the race. Now it's McQueen and Craytrim starting to get away from the rest of the pack there. Carryout you still see in the background in third. Stevie Superstacks hasn't gotten around yet. Like I said, Stevie has a chance at the championship, but has to have a lot of things go right here in this race to make it so. Perhaps if we see Stevie there in season 38, he'll be a strong competitor, a contestant for the championship in that season. Now down the straightaway toward the Sunset Bend, and there is no sun to be glaring at here in today's race. It's all clouds and rain, but they go sloshing through the puddles over the asphalt. Well, not the asphalt. Those are concrete bumps there. The squares or rectangles out there on the track. And now across the line, lap number 1 is in the books. And here we go for lap 2. Has anybody gone into pit lane? I don't see anybody going in as of yet. However, there are still some cars to cross the line, and it looks like everybody is going to get through lap 1 without a need to stop. We still have some time left in our Twitch prediction. Will McQueen win? We do have one viewer who is wagering on the Craytrim or anyone else side of the predictor. And so if Muertismo and his selection there are correct, he stands to win the pot all by himself. Cast your vote. Will McQueen win? He is currently leading, and he is our overall leaderboard, or sitting atop the leaderboard coming into this race, and has won 4 straight. Let's jump back a little bit here. DUR Carryout. He runs a little bit wide through hairpin. That's going to allow Audrex in the Ryzen vehicle to take a look on the inside, but he just can't get the acceleration going, perhaps with the rain underneath the tires. A little slippage there for Audrex, and he falls back onto the rear bumper of Carryout. Carryout's trying to keep pace with Stevie, as we've got a group of 4 here from Stevie on back through Carryout, Audrex, and Fear the Fun, who's in 6th. Then it's Joe Beardy. Chaos Fox has moved up now to 8th from 10th, where we last saw him back on lap number 1. Funtang in 9th. Barney dropping back to 10th position. Kuda falling outside the top 10, now in 11th. Z827 there in 12th position. Jacob T. BOED in 13th. Slow Motion Fire, the organizer here of the Forza Spec Racing Series, in 14th position. Raccoon is 15th. Fox, Jason D, Grimm, and one driver. Well, actually, no, we do have all 17 who started this race. They're all out there on the track. Live Loft in the chat saying, let's go Joe Beardy. We've got another Joe Beardy fan. Is Joe Beardy a celebrity and I just don't know it? This guy's got more fans in the cheering section here in the channel than anybody else I've seen, I think. I take it back. It's kind of split between Joe Beardy, Fox, Jason D, Chaos Fox, as they come through Sunset once again underneath the bridge. Loop it around. There's the pit entry off to the right-hand side. They'll extend the track there, which is okay. Obviously, you wanted to keep it between the white lines during qualifying for that clean lap, but much like you see in the real-world racing out here at Sebring, they go outside the white line there on that right-hander toward the start-finish. And now here in 4th is Carryout, starting to lose sight of Stevie Superstack. Let's go back up to Craytrim in 2nd position. Getting through turns 2, 3, now 4. Into the bend. Accelerating, no tire smoke to be had here today when the brakes go on. Whereas we have seen some drivers get a little hot on the brakes here throughout season 37. The water will go ahead and help alleviate some of that friction for you. I'm Dustin Moore. Welcome to X-Venture. Great to have you here on a Tuesday evening as we roll toward the holidays and the end of 2020. If you haven't yet clicked that follow button, please do. Lets me know as the broadcaster that you enjoy your time here. By the way, Sober David, thank you very much for the host tonight. And again, Solus 710 and Live Loft, thank you for the follows. Click that follow button. You'll get notifications every time we go live. The channel is live on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays with a variety of content. We'll talk a little bit more about that here later on in the broadcast. And then for those of you who can manage to do so, a subscription to the channel helps out quite a bit. And I suppose if we get more subscriptions, we'll do another giveaway in season 38. That'll be fun, huh? Give it all back to the viewers. Down the back straightaway here. Cratrim now about 3-4 car lengths back from McQueen. And the pack all the way back to 17th. Still rather compact. I mean, you may be thinking, well, they're on opposite sides of the track here, Dustin. We see the leader, and then we see 17th there coming down the straightaway. But, you know, we've seen it get out of hand and stretched out a lot quicker in the race than we are right now. At some point, however, the back marker effect will come into play. You will see our race leaders intermingling, fraternizing with the folks at the back end of the train. Here comes Odd Drex now through turns 3 and then 4. He's got Fear the Fun, who is relentless. That's the best possible word I could use to describe Fear the Fun in any situation. Even if he's at the back of the pack and 500 yards out, the guy is relentless. He's going to find his way back up through and claim a few positions. Let's see how far up he can finish in this one. I'm guessing he's open for a top 5. Fear the Fun in the top 5. He rounds out the top 5 on our overall leaderboard. 224 points. Audrex, the next closest in 4th with 263. So quite a gap between those two, but not out here on the track. Side by side, Audrex takes the low line. Fear the Fawn on the outside. Now he's going to switch it up as Audrex heads into the grass. He's going to be slipping and sliding. And like that, at least for now, Fear the Fun moves up to 5th. Audrex back to 6th in the Ryzen vehicle. And now into Tower they go, the right-hander, the tricky right-hander with more grass off to the side. I mean, this track does not give up in giving you grass to deal with. It's all around there until about this part. Then you have a little bit of shoulder to work with. So we've got these battles of 2s here from McQueen to Cratrim, 1st and 2nd, to Stevie Superstack and Carryout, 3rd and 4th. Fear the Fun and Audrex, as Audrex now falling off the pace here to Fear the Fun. He was relentless, and as soon as he got around, he is starting to depart Audrex in hopes of catching up with Carryout. Let's go back to that maneuver, or at least the tail end there, with Audrex finding himself off into the grass here with the X-Venture rewind, and then Fear the Fun getting on by. Let's head back to Z827. Z827 racing for the first time here in the Forza Spec Racing Series with season number 37. Hope to see him back for season 38. He's got the very traditional red, blue, and baby blue colors there, but in a non-traditional format there. Kind of an arrow-like shape on the front, and then a backslash on the door panels. Kuda, 93, in 10th. Got Chaos Fox, who's now dropped back a spot from 8th, right back to 9th, where we saw him on lap number 1. And Kuda hunting for a way to get around here on lap number 5. Twitch prediction, will McQueen or Cratrim or anyone else win the championship? You've got your final couple of seconds here left in the poll. Use your channel points to cast your vote and do it quick. It's about to close up. Who will win the championship? And it is now closed. Like I said, Mortismo, if he gets it right here with saying Cratrim or anybody else is going to win the championship, he stands to win the biggest chunk of channel points I think we've seen here on X Venture. We got Jacob T. BOD back there playing defense with Z827 right behind him, and Kuda was trying to make a run around Chaos Fox there for 9th. Unable to make it stick as they hit the back straightaway. And now McQueen with maybe a half a second lead on Cratrim at this point. Let's go to Audrex again here with Fear the Fun. Going to try to reclaim that position back as the rain continues to fall. A heavy rain out here at Sebring International Raceway. We will see the rain let up here at the midpoint. So somewhere about lap 15, plus or minus a few. What do you guys think about the Super 7 in Forza Horizon 4? You guys are quiet there in the pit lane. Let's get some conversation going. What do you guys think, for those of you who are fans of Forza Horizon 4? Have you tried it out yet? It landed on in an update here today where you can create your own little blueprint challenges. How are you guys liking it so far? Somebody, anybody, if you're out there and you can hear me, respond. Audrex gonna light up the brake lamps here going into the right-hander. That front right wheel looks all kinds of wobbly, although I know for a fact that's not the case. Sober David says, I keep forgetting about Horizon 4. I need to play. It's such a good game. It is such a good game. The developers over at Playground Games, I don't think they get enough credit just because it's such a niche category of gaming. But they'll get theirs come Fable. And I know that's not necessarily the same team as the Horizon development team, but the studio is going to get its... I mean, it's already... Let me be fair. It's already received the accolades that it deserves in terms of being acquired by Microsoft. It was such a good studio. I mean, let's even go before that when Turns In said, hey, we trust you guys with the Forza brand. Create us an open wheel racer. We'll work with you. Or an open wheel racer. An open world racer. We'll work with you to make it happen with our vehicle models and some of our team. And the original Horizon was just, at least in my opinion, a beautifully done title, but then also so well choreographed in terms of the racing discipline and style, and everything just seemed to work so well. And then we know what happened thereafter. Horizon 2, 3, 4. Such great games. And thus they got picked up by Xbox Studios. Rightfully so. And now they're working on Fable. Now I will give you my 2 cents here on Super 7. Is that while I think it's cool, and it's something I know a lot of folks have been asking for a long time, and there are a lot of content creators who are going to definitely shine that much more. I mean, some popular names that are renowned for stunt driving, the skills, the ability, the things that they're able to do with the vehicles in these games. They're going to take it up a proverbial another level with what you'll be able to do with what you are able to do with Super 7. It's gonna be interesting to watch. Let's go to 14th position here with Slow Motion Fire. Slow Motion Fire back behind Foontang. He's got that No Coast Brewing livery, and always love to see these designs. I've never had a No Coast beer. I suppose when the pandemic has let up, Slow Motion Fire owes me a meetup at a bar and some No Coast beer. He's got the Vlad Beer Putin brew. That's the scheme of the season there. And a few of the other drivers, they'll sport the No Coast Brewing Company designs from time to time. Let's go back up to Cratrim, our second place driver here, back behind McQueen, and that lead of McQueen's continues to grow. But you just never know with these conditions and with the pit strategy and eventually with back markers, although the field of 17 is doing a magnificent job right now. Everybody's on the lead lap. Everybody's at least a half a lap within the race leader. Everybody doing really well out there right now. All right, so let me throw a softball out there. This one's destined to get responses, right? We'll see. What vehicle do you guys want to see in Forza Motorsport? Forza Motorsport being the next title in the Forza Motorsport franchise. They have scrapped the number off the title. That's come out of the naming convention here. What vehicle do you want to see? We just saw the Jesko get announced for Forza Horizon 4. That'll be in there. The Koenigsegg Jesko. So I'm guessing some of you want to see that in Forza Motorsport. Obviously, I think that's a given. What are some of the oddball things that you want to see in there? Unku coming in with a Trabant or a Trabant P50. I don't know. Is that like a Peel? Is that another 3-wheel or 4-wheel short wheelbase type of car? What is that? Trabant P50. Let's go back to Carryout in 5th position. Carryout was up in 3rd before losing 3rd to Stevie Superstack, and Mr. Relentless himself, Fear the Fun, up to 4th. Back to 8th, LS Barney from the Lightspeed Esports team. Unku's the only one that wants a vehicle, and it was a Kappa response at that. Okay. We're gonna play it real quiet like here today, I see. Barney down the back straightaway here on lap number 8 as McQueen trips the counter now And he and Cratrim begin lap number 9 of 30. Running through the field after McQueen and Cratrim. In third is Stevie Superstack, Fear the Fun in fourth, Carry Out in fifth, Audrex in sixth. Then it's Joe Beardy with Barney and Kuda behind him in eighth and ninth, followed by Chaos Fox, who's now in 10th. Jacob T is in 11th, Z827 in 12th, Foontang in 13th. I feel like quite a few of these drivers have fallen out of the top 10 and back quite a way. I don't know what went wrong. Slow Motion Fire, he's been hanging out in and around the 14th position here throughout the race. That's where he sits now. Raccoon in 15th, Fox Jason D in 16th, and Grimm, who we spoke to in the driver's spotlight before the race began, in 17th position. Up over the curbing goes Barney. Love the red and black LSEM color. Well, formerly the LSEM team. Now just LS. Fear the Fun now getting challenged by Carryout. And Fear the Fun does seem to be catching up with Stevie. Stevie, who was out for a week, maybe having to get reacquainted with the M3 in its current configuration, and then having to do so in the wet. However, you may have noticed the windshield wipers have stopped, and the rain is no longer falling. So the more the drivers are getting around the track here, the more they're helping to dry it out, and we should see a dry track here not too long from now. The rain actually coming to an end sooner than I anticipated. It's a 30-lap race, and the options within the game allow you to adjust it so that at midpoint something happens. Now, I said plus or minus a few laps because obviously for the game to decide when the rain's going to stop and then how long it'll be dry there at the midpoint of the race. That means it won't happen right at lap 15, but probably a little bit before that. To happen here on lap 10, a bit of a surprise to me, as the headlamps come off as well. The game's getting real daring with it. No windscreen wipers or headlamps, despite the fact that the rooster tails are still roostering. We're hanging out here with Carryout behind Fear the Fun and in front of Audrex. Trying to hold on and maybe even make a move around Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun was on his way to catching up with Stevie a few laps ago. But Fear the Fun, he's very relentless, and then also that with relentlessness tends to come inconsistencies. Roostering, huh? I guess. I don't know. Rooster tails. They're inanimate, so I guess they're just rooster tails. They don't... There's no verb for it. And either Stevie Superstacks is on it here on lap 9 and 10 and starting to peel away, or Fear the Fun is just starting to demonstrate a little bit of that inconsistency as they head now up over this corner here, which is always all kinds of fun. You go in there full throttle, hit the curb, and you hope it doesn't eject you out off the track and into the concrete barrier. Here comes Carryout as he takes a peek here through Lamar, gets right there on the back bumper because Fear the Fun, he read his mind. He had that apex locked down. Not that he wouldn't have been there otherwise. That's the line that you want to take through that corner. But well done there by Fear to just naturally put on the blocking move. McQueen's lead over Crotrim hasn't expanded a whole lot as of late. It still remains to be about a half to maybe 1 full second at this point as they head into turns 2 and 3 and 4 and then 5 into the bend with Carryout and crew now coming out of turn number 1. Let's go ahead and right on board here with Carryout for a lap. You do see the mist that is still coming off the back of Fear the Fun's car. Shouldn't have a huge impact on Carryout's driving ability. And it looks like we're welcoming back the Frames. Good to see you again, Frames. Welcome to the club. The fun, the party. Yeah, the mist still coming off the back there of Fear the Fun. And the track is drying out more and more by each lap gone by. And across the line goes Fear, Carryout, then on Drex. Ghibli Giblets, 8-month sub anniversary. I've learned a lot as opposed to when I subbed for 6 months. I anticipate being a professional F1 driver after year 1. There you go. See? See, this channel is worth something. Welcome back, Frames. We missed you, says Sober David. Yeah. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, all of that. We've actually had really solid broadcasts here throughout season 37 with very little to no issues. All right, folks, I think everything has recovered. Welcome back. Sorry. It apparently hit some sort of huge... I don't think it was a ISP thing. I think it was a miscommunication with the server, with the Twitch server. And now that I've reestablished it, seems like we're good. I hope those aren't the famous last words. The track is now dried out on what was a rainy race for the start. And now we have just a 40% chance that the rain will come back. Will it? We'll have to see. Cratrim is in third, falling back behind Stevie Superstack, who is now in second. McQueen is still our race leader. As we take a look at Cratrim and his vehicle situation here, we'll note that he is up to 96% in the fuel tank. So unless things are glitched out on my end, it would appear to me the reason Cratrim has fallen back as far as he has is that when the broadcast went out, Cratrim went into pit lane. As they go up to McQueen, let's go ahead and test this theory. McQueen, who's in first, 31% left in the fuel tank. No concerns about tire degradation whatsoever. Just 15% in the front two tires, but 30 there in the tank, meaning he will be going into pit lane here in the next couple of laps. You do see the raindrops still there on the paint job of RZM McQueen's car, so the last indication that it had in fact rained here in this race. But again, we'll see if it actually comes back here with a 40% chance at the conclusion of the race. Fear the Fun in fourth still at this point. Audrex in fifth. And then Carryout has fallen back to sixth position. And I suppose it's possible Carryout might have gone into pit lane. Let's take a look. Carryout now actually in seventh. Well, let's see what his vehicle looks like. Yes, 95% in the fuel tank. So Carryout has gone in. The pit strategy starting to factor in. And that might have been a wise choice there by Carryout. He was dealing with Fear the Fun and Audrex. And even there for a bit, oh gosh, who was the other? There was a fourth driver. And so that might have been Carryout's decision to say, hey, let me get away from these guys. Get full tank of fuel, fresh tires, and get back out there and track, and maybe in a position that's a little bit less hotly contested. He is right now back behind LSC and Barney, but not as chaotic as it was with three others around him. So as I run through the field here, from first to 17th, it's McQueen, Stevie Superstack, Cratrim in third, Fear the Fun in fourth, then it's Audrex in fifth, Barney in sixth. In seventh, it's Carryout, followed by Cuda93. Chaos Fox now back up to ninth. Joe Beardy in 10th. AP1 Raccoon, Jacob TBOD, Foontang, Slow Motion Fire, Z827 are 11th through 15th. Then it's Fox, Jason D, and Grim. Still, all 17 drivers out on the track who started this race. Carryout now as Barney goes sliding out of tower. They're going to go side by side. It'll get interesting right here. And it looks like maybe Barney gave Carryout the inside line there up over the curbing. Did not want to risk he or Carryout's car of making contact and sliding off the track. Ooh, Barney a little bit too far on the inside there. As they're going to go side by side. Back down the back straightaway they go. Here on lap number 16, it's going to be a drag race towards Sunset Bend. Barney on the inside, which is going to put Carryout in a scary situation. And Carryout with the late braking actually able to avoid going wheel to wheel there in the 17th and final corner. And with that, Barney's going to duck into pit lane. That's going to move Cuda up now to 7th position. Let's go back to Audrex as the Audrex Fear the Fun battle reemerges. Why did I have to trip over the plug? It was weird because the stream could just never recover. That's why I feel like it was maybe a dropped communication with the Twitch server. It just could never reestablish the bit rate. And now that I've reset OBS, everything's good again. So hopefully that's our only flub here in season 37. Just as I was saying that it was such a great season broadcast-wise, broadcast quality-wise, that happened. The true commentator curse. Self-inflicted. Audrex now back into tower here. Lap 16. Turn 13, that is. And so now we're starting to see how the back markers are going to factor into this race. McQueen, the race leader, has already dealt with a few of them at this point, but hasn't really gotten the full effect as of yet. And we'll see if maybe McQueen decides here in a few laps, not only is he going to have to because of the fuel tank, but maybe because as he starts to creep up on that large pack that you see there on the opposite end of the track, by pitting, he's essentially going to backtrack himself or bring himself back from that pack and give himself a little bit more clean air again to work with over the next, I don't know, however many laps, maybe all the way to the end of the race, depending on how well the back markers keep up with their pace. 20% left in the fuel tank there for McQueen. So we've elapsed the midway point here of this one. 30 laps at 31st. That'll be a signature adios kind of wave off from the drivers to us, the spectators there. They'll go into their funny procession around the track as Grimm in 17th place there off into the grass. Perhaps that was scheduled as he allows Fear the Fun and Audrex to move on past without any incident. And I saw Fear the Fun's windshield wipers move there. And they're moving again. And the rain is already decided to fall. Just like that. We knew toward the back half of the race that there was a 40% chance, but here we are on lap 17, just barely past the halfway point, and here comes the rain, and the track starting to get wet again. So the plus side to this is that the tires shouldn't heat up as quickly now that the rain has come back into the picture, although it sounded like from our conversation with Grimm and just by noticing what the tire degradation was through the first 14 laps or so, that tires weren't really going to be a concern either way. It can get a little interesting, a bit dicey if you go through for an extended amount of time on race tires without any precipitation on the track. That's when it can get interesting. But we're not going to get that here. Mother Nature says, they're going to have rain now, and this should last all the way through the end of the race. What was that, a 3-4 lap break from the weather? And I'm guessing maybe somebody from Florida will chime in and say, well, that's about par for the course. As Fear the Fun now with the rain falling, he's going to run wide here through Sunset Bend. That's going to allow Audrex there in 5th position to catch back up yet again. And we've got somebody else. It's going to be Stevie Superstack into pit lane. So he was able to make his way up to 2nd and now drops back to 5th. He'll have his work cut out for him here in the remaining 22 laps. Make that 23. Excuse me, what am I saying? 13. How many laps do I want us to run today? Math is hard. Carry out crosses the line. It looks like Kuda now into pit lane. Joe Beardy in 8th, Barney in 9th as they now come through Sunset. And Chaos Fox is leading a crowd, although he's got some good separation. He's got Jacob TBOED, Phone Tang, Slow Motion Fire, AP1 Raccoon, and Z827 all lumped together from 11th on back to 15th. This battle here for third, the most important one that we have on the track. A reminder that Odd Drex sits in front of Fear the Fun on the overall leaderboard entering week number 5 and has a good lead, 263 to 224. And so while this is not necessarily a fight to change position on the overall leaderboard, you better believe Fear the Fun, he doesn't want to give up third. I mean, this would be a heck of a finish for him if he can keep it going all the way through the rest of the race. Rain is being indecisive today. Well, I mean, it's going as predicted. It's just, I guess the way that Turn 10 has it programmed, it's just kind of weird because you got the race start, mid-race, and then end of race in terms of the settings. And I would have thought that with the 40% chance of rain set for end of race, that we wouldn't see whether or not it's actually going to rain until about lap, I don't know, 20, 25 at the earliest. And here it is. Well, it was lap 17 that we started to see the rainfall. It is a moderate rain, which is a little bit lighter than what we had at the start of the race. Not that changes the dynamic any for the track, because the track, well, I don't know. There might be fewer puddles out there. There might be fewer of them. We'll see. And Ghibli Giblets, by the way, if we were having all kinds of crazy frame issues when you subscribe, let me go ahead and run that one back for you here. Ghibli Giblets with the 8 months in a row and said, 8-month anniversary, I've learned a lot as opposed to when I was subbed for 6 months, just 2 months ago, and he anticipates being a professional F1 driver after 1 year. That's how it works. That's how it works here on Xventure. The more you subscribe, it actually enhances your driving ability. You're not the first one to vouch for that. The game has decided to leave the headlamps off. Not that really should have any effect on the drivers here, but an interesting choice of not using the headlamps here. Pretty sure in the real world out on the track it would be required. It comes Fear the Fun. He clips the curbing there, gets a couple of, well, maybe one wheel. That front left tire, I think, had a little bit of air underneath it. Now into 10 and 11, then 12, and then 13 tower on lap 19. Just a reminder, Fridays are reserved for hauling for the weekend. Catch American Truck Simulator action here on Xventure Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern. And this coming Friday, we will branch outside the boundaries of Colorado. We've spent the last couple of weeks exclusively in Colorado. It was the latest downloadable content to come to American Truck Simulator, at least paid downloadable content. Then they added a truck, the Cascadia. But yeah, we'll be going interstate style here this Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on Xventure, hauling for the weekend. We continue to hang out here with Fear the Fun, who's holding off Audrex, and eventually I expect Stevie Superstacks to get into the mix here and hopefully have a three-way battle for third. I say hopefully. I know Fear the Fun would rather not that be the case, but I would like to see a three-way battle for third. Would BMW fanatics state that these BMWs are the pinnacle point of BMW success? Well, I mean, this 2005 is definitely one of the, I believe, I'm not a big-time BMW gearhead or know-it-all. Heck, I'm not even, I don't even know a lot about BMW, but I think this 2005 model is one of the more celebrated variants of the M3. And it was also the version that was homologated with a GTR version. And that GTR version, if I remember correctly, is not in Forza Motorsport 7. We've actually had the GTR model in previous Forzas, but I think it is absent here in Forza 7. Somebody will have to fact check me on that one. But yeah, it is one of the models and versions of M3 that is kind of the more desired. .276 horsepower, 289 foot-pounds of torque, 3,678 pounds of curb weight. It is C500 class all throughout Season 37, and whoever wins the championship here in Season 37 will decide what vehicle is run in Season 38. He or she will work with Slow Motion Fire to set the upgrades, and here comes Fear the Fun as he goes ahead and points the nose of his car, and Audrex is they're going to go in together as buddies, and I think the reason being is that they were probably getting pretty close to the end of the fuel tank's abilities there. That first tank of fuel starting to run out of miles and maybe even on fumes there for a bit. So Stevie Superstack will move up to third. I said that he would probably come into the picture. Here is the reason why he comes back into the picture. Now it's going to be a matter of can Audrex and Fear the Fun catch back up. Oh, frames. What is going on today? Let's go to Audrex in fifth, Fear the Fun in fourth, and Carryout in sixth. I do apologize, folks. We've gone all season without any issues, and now here we're encountering a few of them. We don't even have any weather or anything going on here today. And I say no weather in real life. You're not a real Twitch streamer unless you go through these troubles. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, some of the streamers who have very, kind of spotty access. I mean, I guess you don't necessarily become a. I guess you don't necessarily try to become a prominent streamer if you know that your access is your internet access is crappy. But yeah, this is it is typical. tricky to work with, and especially I feel like especially in this environment where it's a race or it's a competition that we're covering. We got y'all who are interested in seeing how it plays out, and then boom, you start to lose frames, and it's frustrating. I certainly know that feeling. It looks like we might be okay right now. Sober David, hopefully this helps. 100 bits. Thank you so much, Sober David. I'm fine. I'm good. It's always disappointing to me whenever you guys miss out on part of the broadcast. By the way, missing out on broadcasts, you can catch up with all the Forza Spec Racing Series broadcasts that have happened since season 24 when I started broadcasting. Now, there's a few exceptions. There was one season where I didn't make it all the way through, and there's actually no video I have available to me anymore. It's long been deleted. Twitch deletes the videos after so long. So there's one season where I broadcasted, I think, for 3 weeks, and that season is gone. And then there's a couple of races, only like 2 or 3 broadcasts where that footage had somehow escaped me and got away without me downloading it and capturing it. But if you head over to my YouTube, which is the same title as it is here on Twitch, Xventure, EXEVENTURE, then you can watch back some of those early races, at least early in the sense of my broadcast. Now, because I joined with season 24, the Forza Spec crew had been going on far longer, or for quite some time before I started broadcasting. So when I say we, I mean me. But yeah, head on over to YouTube, and I think I might have. Let me see. No, it's not there. I'll have to create a command for it. But if you go to the About tab down below, if you're on your desktop, or I think there's a way to see it on your mobile device, just clicking on the About link, it should keep the video running for you so that you don't miss out on the broadcast. But then what it should provide are a couple of links to include the YouTube channel so that you can check out those videos. And while you're there, go ahead and click that subscribe button so that you keep up to date with all the new videos. And what will happen from this point forward, as soon as a race has concluded here, within a week, I'll get it uploaded to YouTube so that you could watch it back there. I also have found a way to work around the delete system here in Twitch by making highlights of all the broadcasts. So what Twitch does is they delete the broadcast after 30 days. But if I make a highlight of that broadcast in its entirety, then those stay indefinitely, I believe. But then I'm also putting them over there on YouTube just in case. Just in case. Yeah, I'll have to get a command for that ahead of our next broadcast so that you guys can easily click on over there. I listen to the reruns in my car in hopes to give me more horsepower, but in any case, it's great to watch them back. It's kind of comical for me because I'm watching back at a time earlier time when I was kind of getting acquainted with the Forza Spec Racing Series. I had been streaming well ahead of the FM4 series, my involvement with FM4, with the Mileage Masters Championship, which actually those videos are available over there on YouTube too. Season 0 through Season 5 of the Mileage Masters Championship are on YouTube. And even though those are more interesting to watch because it was with Season 0 that I was starting to get back into broadcasting, and so you can kind of hear the bewildered voice, of me trying to get everything going properly. Oh gosh, I don't want to host races ever again. at least without a more intuitive event host system in Forza, so that way I can kind of turn my attention away from that and then keep my focus on the broadcast. Trying to do both, it's okay and it works, but it just doesn't go as seamlessly as you might think it does. from your vantage point? Oh, there's so much stuff going on back behind the scenes there. All right, here comes Audrex with carry out back behind him. These three, from Stevie Superstack to Audrex to carry out, and actually that's Fear the Fun. Stevie Superstack there in third is quite a distance away in coming out of turn number 1. It's these three, Fear the Fun, Audrex, and carry out, that had kind of staggered pit stops, apart from Fear the Fun and Audrex, who went in together. Carry out had gone in sometime before. And so if we look at carry out's situation, just to kind of give us an idea of how he's looking here on these last 7 laps, 53% left in the fuel tank. He should be good. There should be no problems whatsoever here. Pit strategy, not as important as we've seen in past Forza Spec Racing Series finales. Last year's was pretty good with the EB110 because the Bugatti drank fuel like I drink Dr. Pepper. And so that was an interesting one to watch. This one here, not a big deal. Our race leader, McQueen, coming up on one of the back markers there in, is that going to be 17th? No, that's 16th of Fox Jason D. So it's McQueen in first, Craytrim in second, Stevie in third, Fear the Fun in fourth, Audrex in fifth, and yes, it is this three-way battle right here that is most exciting. Carry out in sixth. Then you got to look back all the way toward the bend, heading toward the hairpin in seventh. It's Kuda. Kuda having a great race here. Joe Beardy in eighth, Barney in ninth, Funtang up to 10th now with Chaos Fox jumping back outside the top 10 in 11th. Soul Motion Fire has moved up to 12th, so that's +2 there for slow here in this race. Jacob TBOD in 13th, Z827 in 14th, AP1 Raccoon in 15th, Fox Jason D, and then Grem 16th and 17th. And yeah, kudos to all the drivers. Everybody has stayed out on the track for the entirety of this one so far. We've still got 5.5 laps remaining for a good chunk of the track, or a good chunk of the field. My Red Dead Redemption 2 playthrough, episode number 4, coming at you here this Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on Xventure. We're starting to get into it. It's going to continue to get ugly. We saw a little bit out at Strawberry with the jailbreak of Micah. It's only going to get crazier as we go along, and we haven't yet really seen much of the map. I mean, there's so much of the map that has yet to be explored that the story is just going to continue to unfold before us here on Sundays all throughout the rest of 2020 and into 2021. Check it out. It's the Red Dead Redemption 2 Saddle Up Sunday right here on Xventure. And again, that's at 10 a.m. Eastern. However, I do want to throw out there that what we might get here in the next coming weeks is we might get an extended broadcast just to get a few more hours in to try to get a few bigger chunks of the storyline out of the way. And so keep up to date with that and everything else Xventure right here on my Twitter handle. Not right here, over there, over on the Twitter. Exact same handle as here on Twitch, Xventure. Give me a follow, and every time I have an update about what's going on here in the channel, that's where it gets posted. I'm really digging my playthrough over the broadcast. It's one thing to play a single player story game by yourself. You can get really immersed and you know, play it the way that you feel like you want to play it. Like, by yourself, you can decide, okay, I just feel like I did a few missions. Now I just kind of feel like wandering around and taking a look at stuff. But in broadcast mode, like you want to keep the content coming. You want to keep getting to the next mission, the next mission, and the next mission. Keep the flow pretty good. You don't want to break it up too much and get people forgetting about what's going on. It makes it really enjoyable, and of course to have some of you, all the viewers, there to go along the journey with me is fun. And I'll just throw it out there, in 2021, there is a slew of other titles that I look to jump into in 2021. One of those, which would come on the heels of Red Dead Redemption 2, would be L.A. Noire. Anybody who's played L.A. Noire probably very familiar with how interesting and how good that game is. Gonna jump into that one at the conclusion of Red Dead Redemption 2, and man, am I looking forward to that. L.A. Noire, such a great game, and a technological marvel in its time, with the facial animations. Such a big component of that game. You're looking at people's facial expressions as a detective to determine whether or not they're telling you the truth, or if they're lying to you, or if they're a bit indifferent and really they're just kind of, they don't really have anything to show you. They've got a pretty good poker face going. Oh, man. And then we will be going into, by the way, a week from tonight, we'll be starting the season of simulation here on X-Venture. I'll talk about that at the end of the broadcast. So a lot of reasons to stay tuned through the remaining 4.5 laps here or so, because we'll have a champion to crown. We'll be giving away a $50 digital gift card for those of you who have entered into the fall raffle, and get those channel points in now. You've got until the top of the hour. You've got the next 30 minutes or so to get entered, because then after that we close up the entries, and whoever it is that I have entered at that point, we're going to throw all the names on the wheel, and we'll see who gets the $50 digital gift card. We're still hanging out here from 4th back to 6th. Audrex, well, Fear the Fun, Audrex, and then Carryout. This is the most intriguing battle we have out on the track, just because of their position, fighting for 3rd. McQueen is our leader by a long shot. Craytrim is in 2nd. Stevie Superstack in 3rd. Craytrim's in a good position that if something were to happen to McQueen, he'd be able to strike. So while Craytrim's not battling for 1st right now, there's still 3 laps for something to go wrong. And actually 4 laps. Yeah, 2021 should be fun here on the broadcast. If you guys enjoy racing but love to break it up from time to time, like racing maybe your thing, but you like seeing some other stuff, hey, I'm in that same basket with you. As much as I love broadcasting racing events and commentating them, man, do I love some single-player games with just solid storylines. And there's all kinds of other games that I plan to break out in 2021. And so, yes, if you have not yet clicked the follow button here on the channel, please do so. I promise you won't regret it. We're going to have all kinds of fun here. More giveaways and all kinds of stuff to come in 2021. It's just... it's a good time to be a gamer, because, I mean, what else do we have to do, right? Trapped indoors. We want to stay healthy. We want to do the right thing, try to minimize our contact, social contact, keep distance from everyone else. I tell you, Audrex here with Carryout. It's a good one. This is the battle that, while we would have liked to see it maybe a few more spots up here in the field, we'll take what we can get. And again, I'm Dustin Moore here on the microphone as always, with the Forza Spec Racing Series, looking forward to Season 38. I'm not sure what direction I never know what direction the champion's going to go with their vehicle selection. So it's always fun and exciting to learn what car they picked when Slow Motion Fire actually announces it. Now, here's what you need to know about that, is that the champion will pick the car. However, it won't get announced right away. Slow Motion Fire will take some, what I call like spy shots of the car, like really zoomed in close-ups, macro photography of the car that will be raced in the subsequent season. And then the participants, those who register for the next season, can guess the vehicle. And if you guess correctly, then you get to pick one of the tracks that get raced in that season. So no better time for you to get on over to reddit.com/r/FM4 than now. And by now, I mean after this broadcast. Save the page, bookmark it, star it, whatever your browser is, whatever you got to do. And so once Slow Motion Fire posts those photos up, one, get yourself registered, because you have to be a registered participant to actually guess. Outsiders like myself and everybody else who's just watching the broadcast here, we don't get to guess the car. That's reserved for the drivers. And because there are 9 races on the calendar, he'll take correct answers from quite a few of the field, and what a nice little advantage you can create there if you have an opportunity to pick the track that you'd like to run there in season number 38. Here comes Audrex to the inside around carryout. And carryout, yeah, ran wide into the hairpin there. And now here they come, bumper to bumper. Into 10 and 11 and 12. You got that little that piece of signage there on the track has been on there for many laps. Nobody's punted it off yet. Everybody running through the inside there on that portion of the track. Here comes Audrex now to the inside through Tower. Here comes carryout, and not going to make it happen there. All the while, Fear the Fun now with a good second and a half, 2-second lead over Audrex and carryout up there in 4th. Let's go take a look at the X Venture Rewind. And is that one of our old? Yep, that's our old replay. I forgot when I restarted OBS after our crash there that I didn't start the replay buffer. Pro streamer here. Let's go to Joe Beardy in 9th position. Out in front of him in 8th is LS Barney. And a little ways ahead of them is Kuda 93. Kuda, what a stellar run Kuda's having. Kuda, 13th overall on the leaderboard right now, 156 points. Just 2 behind Foontang. And 6 behind Disco Joint. Disco Joint not out on the track here today. Unable to participate. That's the beauty, though, of the Forza Spec Racing Series. Even if you can't fully commit to the season, odds are they'll have a spot on the grid for you. So if you can only get in 3, 4, heck, even if you can only manage 2 weeks of racing, do it. Take a shot. Get in there. Get registered. Get your car prepped up once it's announced. And by the way, I forgot to mention, once the vehicle is announced, then along with it come the upgrade requirements. It's a spec series, so you got to have your car matching everybody else's in terms of upgrades and performance. Then what you are able to do, unique to your driving style or your preference, is make tuning adjustments, albeit with those components in which tuning adjustments are possible. Not all components can be tuned if they haven't been upgraded. And across the line comes McQueen The white flag flies. McQueen trying to pick up his first ever Forza Spec Racing Series championship. And going to do so in a big way with 5 straight victories, if he can hold on to it here for the remaining 3/4 of the lap. Craytrim still there in second and about 3 or 4, maybe even 5 seconds back. And then Stevie Superstack all by himself now as he crosses the line. And Fear the Fawn. And then the battle that continues to play out between Audrex and Carryout as they go into Sunset Bend through that wide sweeping right-hander. Those puddles there from the moderate rain that we've had here on the back half of the race. We had the heavy rain for the start. Then it cleared up for a little bit. It cleared up enough that the track completely dried out for about 4 laps. And then the rain started falling again at about lap 17. Audrex now into the left-hander, turn number 1 for the final time in this race with Carryout right there behind him on his back bumper. Kuda now with Barney and Joe Beardy in tow. Out of the final corner and across the line. And then you've got in another grouping there, Foontang, Slow Motion Fire, and Chaos Fox, with then Jacob TBOED and Z827, those two by themselves. And then 15th position, which belongs to AP1 Raccoon and Fox Jason D. They're on the opposite end of the track. They're on their lap number 29. And then Grim coming across the line, getting ready to start lap number 29. We'll come back here to 5th position, but let's go ahead and give the race leader and soon-to-be race number 9 winner and our season 37 champion here in the 2005 BMW M3, coming across the line for the Checkers and his first win here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, representing Team RZM. It is McQueen. Across the line, uncontested. Congratulations. And back behind him is Craytrim. And unless something happens there with Fear the Fun closing in on Stevie Superstack, Stevie should be able to finish 3rd. Keep your eye out for Stevie if Stevie runs in Season 38. Wasn't able to take a full crack at it here in Season 37, but if he can in Season 38, look out. Here comes Fear the Fun. Now down the back straightaway. Can he catch up with Stevie? Stevie's doing a little celebratory squiggly across the back straight. That's going to allow Fear to close in a little bit, and then he gets on it and into the corner, and Stevie should be good for 3rd there, picking up a podium finish here in the 9th and final race of Season 37. Fear the Fun, well done. Picks up 4th. Let's go to Audrex here. He's got Carryout back behind him in 6th position. Here they come across the line. Down the stretch, it'll be Audrex in 5th, Carryout in 6th. And now let's go back to, let's see, we've got Kuda comfortably in 7th right now. Let's go to Joe Beardy in 9th. He's behind LS Barney. And so Joe Beardy trying to make up as much distance as he can here with that slipstream. And I don't think he's going to be able to make it happen here as Barney brings it back toward the concrete barrier, the apex there, through that final right-hander and across the line. This is how these two will finish. Barney, Beardy, 8th, 9th. Back to 10th position. Slow Motion Fire, who's in 11th. Foontang is in 10th. The No Coast Brewing Car now looks to the inside. Foontang is going to go ahead and close the door. Or does he? As they come underneath the Michelin Bridge, Slow Motion Fire, and he's not going to be able to get up alongside Foontang. It'll be 10th and 11th. Foontang, Slow Motion Fire, Chaos Fox with a disappointing 12th place finish. Let's go to Jacob TOBEED. Well, one too many E's there, but Jacob TBOED in 13th, Z827 in 14th. And then it'll be Raccoon who finishes 15th, Fox Jason D in 16th, Grim in 17th position. Folks, I'm going to go ahead and take note of where everybody finished for the sake of wrapping things up here on the broadcast. Don't go anywhere because, again, we'll talk about what's coming up next here on X Venture over the next couple of weeks. We'll also pick we'll randomly select the winner of our fall raffle. And you still have 18 minutes to get your entries in. Use your channel points there below the chat to get your entries in for a chance to win the $50 giveaway. I will go ahead and conclude our Twitch predictor here. That way, any of you who need those channel points to claim your entry, you can do so. Run a few ads real quick. If you can hang tight, bear with me in watching them here. It does support the broadcast, and then anybody who might be joining us here on the back end of the broadcast, they'll be able to avoid those pre-roll ads. You're watching X Venture here on Twitch TV. I'm Dustin Moore. We'll be right back after these ads. Welcome back, folks. I pressed the wrong button in terms of the ads, so you're back a little bit quicker than anticipated. I've gone ahead and taken note of where everybody finished. We'll go back out here to the track here as the drivers do their final little send-off here to Season 37. It is McQueen who is going to pick up the Season 37 championship. Craytrim will fall just short of picking up his 10th Forza Spec Racing Series championship. He'll finish second overall on the leaderboard. Stevie Superstack, who finished third here in this race, should finish third overall on the leaderboard. And again, looking forward to seeing if Stevie will participate in Season 38 because that will be a name to look out for. Holy moly, dropped frames. Wow. McQueen saying GG's. Channel points for Barney. Good job, McQueen, says Craytrim. And Craytrim also thanking the 337 channel points that he get out of that Twitch predictor. Yeah, it was pretty heavy in favor of McQueen winning the championship there. And so not a big pool of points that crew got to add to their channel point account. Oh man, the frame, it had to rear its ugly head at some point here in Season 37, right? And they're all out of order now, so don't take their placement here on the victory lap as the final results. You would be mistaken. What do you guys think here of Season 37? How'd you like it? Fun? Enjoyable? Exciting? Interesting? All of the above? I had a good time with it. I mean, we really had some close competition through those first couple of weeks, and then, like I said, with RZ and McQueen now 5 straight wins in a row. So we haven't seen anybody else win a race here in season 37 dating back to week number 3. And actually, no, dating back to week number 2. All right, and across the line they go, concluding things. I'm going to go ahead and throw this up on the screen because you've got 13 minutes now to claim your channel points, at which point then I will then close up the redemption option, and then we will spin the wheel. And yes, you all will get to see it here live. You do not have to be present to win. However, it is highly encouraged so that you can get all the GGs, kudos, and thanks from me for being a viewer. But yes, get those redeemed right now, and we'll turn over to our driver spotlight. If anybody wants to join us in there, if any of our drivers would like to join us, love to chat with you about how things went in your 9th and final race of the season. While I wait to see if anybody joins me in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and get myself out of the lobby here and get ready for our giveaway. I do have to do a little bit of administrative work to make that happen. I had a good time with this season. It really was. It really was a lot of fun. And we kicked it off in a good way, too, because unless I'm mistaken, week 1, I think, was a complete field of cars. A full lobby, I think. All right. Let's see here. I need this. There we go. All right, so we've got an entry here today from Carryout, Cratrium. We've got one from Enraged Barney. We've got one from Sober David. Cratrium with another one. Mortismo with another entry. LS Unku with an entry. Kaluna Soul with another entry here. Go ahead and check all those off as complete. You'll see those come out of your channel point account, and that is actually all that we have for right now. Turning over here to the driver spot. Nobody's in the driver's spotlight right now. Oh my gosh, everybody's super quiet. I can tell you that week 1 of season 38 will get kicked off on January 12th. January 12th, that is 5 weeks from today. So yes, a little bit of a break, which means we just had our final Forza Spec Racing Series race of 2020. That's it. Shut it down. Let's go home. It's over. The season's done. Yeah, that's it for 2020 of FM4. I think they will have some off-season stuff that Slow Motion Fire will coordinate. I will be doing something different just to kind of step away from the racing for a little bit until season 38 comes back. Again, January the 12th. That's a Tuesday, as they always are. 5 weeks from today, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. What will the car be? We don't know until the champion, McQueen, decides what vehicle will be running in season 38. I have no more intel on that than you all do. And it looks like the points have already been entered into... Yes, they have. Yes, they have. So let me actually go ahead and get the final standings done up real quick. Thank you very much there, Fear the Fun. It looks like Fear helped coordinate that to get those in there. And I'm guessing these will be... They're pseudo-official until they... have said, yeah, there's absolutely no adjustments to be made here, but these are as good as in stone, at least in my opinion. Let me go ahead and type these up real quick. That way you all can see the final results of Season 37 and how close some of the drivers came to finishing where maybe they aspired, maybe what they had set as their personal goal for this particular season. 219, 188. Sorry as I read these out aloud. It's just a tendency. Season 37 champion. And then what do we got over here? 209 goes to 162. Whoops. They're all out of order. Never mind. I won't do that yet. It hasn't been sorted. So let me not do that right now. I know I could sort them, but I'd rather not at this point. We'll just go ahead and wait until the FM4 team gets it all fixed up. Nobody wants to chat in the driver's spotlight. Wow. So lonely here today. Crickets. There we go. All I had to do was play Sad Dustin, and I knew somebody would jump in here. Fear the Fun jumps into the driver's spotlight. Fear the Fun. Well done, sir. Finishing 4th out there today at Sebring. I don't know what that does for you on the overall leaderboard. You came into week number 5 in 5th.
It keeps me in 5th, my dude.
That keeps you in 5th. Awesome. Because you were a few points back from Audrex, so I knew that was going to be difficult, if not at all possible.
He would have had to have a really bad race, or I would have had a win.
And even then, if week 5 was then his drop week, then he probably would have still stayed in 4th. I'm guessing. I don't know. But, hey, let's not worry about that. You finished 4th out here in what was a pretty darn good race. You had a lot of good battles with Audrex for a bit there, and then you were able to get him and Carry out to battle it out with each other, and no big mistakes in this race for you. You looked really clean out there.
I had a huge mistake at the start. I watched McQueen drop his lights before he went, and I went, and then I didn't see him move, so I grabbed the e-brake, and I stalled on the start.
Well, let me take
back like 5 positions, and then I just kind of slowly drove my way through it.
Well, if that was your worst mistake, then that's not too bad. And actually, I did catch that. That was one of the second sentences I uttered there at the start of the race. Even before I threw out my kick the tires, light the fires, I said, oh, fear is stuck on the line there. But pretty good recovery and made your way up through there. The rain seemed to be a lot more prevalent than I would have thought based on how the race was scheduled out. But did that work to your advantage? Did that not have any effect on your driving whatsoever? What was that like?
I'd done a lot of practice in the rain, so surprisingly enough, I was faster than Audrex in the rain, and I was faster than CV in the rain. But I was slow in the drive, which is completely opposite of what you should be. But I mean, it worked. I got 4th.
I think when you went into pit lane, I think you were the one to initiate it, and then Audrex went in, or maybe I've got that flip-flopped. What did you think about that? Like, were you hoping to continue to fight it out with Audrex throughout the race, or were you like, oh gosh, I can't get rid of this guy?
I mean, I was hoping that he would fall back.
Yeah.
But on the pit strategy, I literally went in with 0.0% fuel. I ran that all the way out until it was 1% on the back stretch, and I was like, all right, I'm going to make it to the pit lane. That's what I did. As soon as I got to pit lane, it coughed once as I was going in.
I did mention that. I said that those two, you and Audrex, had to have been going in there on fumes because I know a couple of laps before that, you guys were down to like 20% or something like that. So I knew you guys were cutting it real close. Was that the strategy all along, or was that you just kind of playing it as you went there around the track?
I wasn't going to go as far as I could go, and as long as I was in front of Audrex. Because I know if I have any kind of mistake coming out of the pit lane or going into pit lane or whatnot behind Audrex, I would never recover from it.
Yeah.
So I went in with exactly as much fuel as I needed, and I came out in front of him, and that's when I started to pull away from him.
Talking with Fear the Fun here in the driver's spotlight after things have concluded in season number 37. Fear the Fun. Tell me a little bit about at least your perspective here. Stevie Superstack. We saw him unable to compete in the entirety of season 37, finished third in this race. Do you think you'll be able to make pace with it? Of course, we don't know what the car will be in season 38, but do you think there's a chance where you'll be able to battle out with him, or is he just kind of in another league for you?
I don't know if he's in another league. I mean, he's fast.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's in a better league, but I don't have a big enough sample size.
Yeah.
Because we've only run this car, and it's only he's only run this car. It's his first season with us. But from what I see, he's definitely faster than me. But I don't know if it was just he's good with the car or he's a good overall driver.
Not a large enough sample size, says Fear the Fun, getting all scientific with it. So, okay, a good little assessment, or what you can assess of that opponent as we look to season 38. Now, season 38 not coming until the new year in 2021. I think that means we were able to get, 4 or 5 seasons into 2020. Yet we're still 23 days out from the new year, but looking back on the year, how do you assess your own personal performance in FM4? I know there were a few seasons where you were not able to compete all the way through, but all in all, how do you feel about 2020 in terms of FM4?
I think this is the best season I've had in maybe 2 years, the last 15 seasons or so. The last car I won in was the Aston Martin at Prague.
Yeah.
That's as far back as I can remember my last good. I think that's my last podium too. I don't think I've podiumed since.
You got really close.
I've had 2 fourths this season.
Yeah. So you're right there. You're right on the cusp. You just got to figure out a way around for all of the races. I know you guys have been back and forth on some of these where you have finished out in front of him, but finish out in front of him consistently and then try to figure out the Stevie Superstacks guy. Talking with Fear the Fun again here in the driver's spotlight. What car in 2020 was maybe your favorite?
This one by far. I love the BMW. It's so good for what it is. Like, you don't have all you have is roll bar suspension for suspension tuning.
Yeah.
And it's such a different way of tuning because you're sitting there, you're trying to fine tune your roll bar, you're trying to fine tune your differential to get the best turn in you can with a little bit of aero, a little bit of tire pressure. You're just trying to do these little fine movements. On top of that, it's a really well handling car, even with I think it's sport suspension where it's not adjustable. It was really gripped up. I go into public lobbies and I find this thing has an amazing amount of grip for what it is.
Yeah, that's what we were hearing from the drivers all throughout the season. I know you've told me exactly that earlier on in season 37 here, which kind of surprised me a little bit, knowing the vehicle's weight, that it was able to grip as well as it did without chewing through tires at that. I mean, it did pretty good. It seemed like a very balanced car all throughout the season. Born as Ghost saying in our pit lane, the Twitch chat, it was a great season, but I can't help but to think that Born would have spanked me if he could have made it tonight. And he's quoting you. He's quoting Fear the Fun here. What do you have to say about Born?
I mean, he didn't show up, so how's he gonna talk crap? I mean, if he can't make it to a race day, why is he here?
It is worth noting, Born as Ghost did finish. Finished the first 4 weeks with 219 points. I don't know what that comes out to after making week 5 here, maybe his drop week, or I don't know, maybe he had multiple drop weeks. But yeah, Born as Ghost, until you finish the season, you can't say it. Can't say it at all. Carry out with the LOL there. All right, Fear the Fun. Any last words from you here? This is the last time I'll probably chat with you here in 2020. So anything to say to the viewers or to the other racers?
Well, it was good racing. I had a lot of fun. I finally, for the first time, I think since Audrex and I started racing together, I think I finally outpaced him at one track. If you're looking for a good Bush League, Beer League, not so try-hardy league, RFM4 is for you. We've got drivers of every skill level. You got from the slowest of the slow to the fastest of the fast. I mean, we have a Forza RC driver who won the championship tonight, and then CV Superstacks comes in, and he's brand new, and I think he grabs third in points. Atrium is still looking for his 9th or his 10th championship. If you come in here, you're going to have a good time. We're very friendly. We're not trying to beat each other up like we do a little bit, but, we like to have fun. there's a little bit of competitiveness, but it's not a lot.
Right.
So you can come in, you can have good racing without being super serious. Which I know there are a lot of leagues out there that are just kind of having problems right now with, or growing pains, with people just coming in and they're trying too hard. They're trying to show that they're good enough. RFM4 is not like that. We want you to come in and show that you're a cool person. You understand like the rules of racing, of how just to be a clean driver, or as clean as you can be. And if you do something, just admit that you did it wrong. You say sorry, or after the race you say sorry, or even give up that position if you bump somebody off the track on accident. We're not looking for a super serious. We're just looking for people who like to have fun, and that's it.
There you go. I couldn't have said it better. Fear the fun, doing the ambassador thing that he does, helping out with Slow Motion Fire and keeping these things organized and running season in, season out, year in and year out. You guys have been doing this for a long, long time, so I can't have said it any better. This is the league to join if you're looking for a great, diverse group of folks from pro competition level all the way down to folks who are just saying, hey, I'm just here to race. I don't care where I finish. Fear the fun, always great chatting with you. If I don't happen to bump into you here virtually over the next 23 days, have a great rest of the year, and hoping for an awesome and much better 2021.
Have a Merry Christmas, my man.
Same to you. Merry Christmas. And let's go ahead and bring now into the driver spotlight Carryout, who finished in 6th place. You were battling it out with Audrex there for a little bit. As a matter of fact, you guys there from 4th on back to 7th, and then it dissipated a little bit toward the end of the race. You guys were battling it out all race, but it was you and Audrex there to the end.
Yes, that was the best battle I've had all year.
And in the rain, nonetheless. You were able to keep the car point in the right direction, although as we're hearing from Fear, it seemed like it was pretty composed. Was that the same experience for you?
It wasn't that bad. I thought it was going to be a little bit worse than what it was, but I've been practicing all week in the wet. And then today I'm like, hey, was everybody running? Is everybody doing good? And I'm like 3 seconds off, and I'm like, oh, God, no, I was doing horrible. So I had to adjust for that. It turned out to be pretty good.
And how about qualifying? There was I quickly got away from qualifying and not seeing what was going on there when I was talking with Grim. Were you pretty satisfied with your finish in qualifying? I know that on some of these lengthier tracks, it can be difficult to really pin down the pace that you want, but how did you do there?
Oh, I was ecstatic. I qualified 3rd, which was a lot better than I thought I was going to do. It was fantastic.
And entering today's race, you were back in 7th position, 212 points. Born as Ghost, who we know did not participate. We'll keep harping on that. Born as Ghost, you can take those jabs at you all day long, and so I think you'll pass Born as Ghost, maybe moving up to 6th overall. Satisfied with that finish here in season 37?
I would have liked to have had a little bit higher.
Yeah.
If I could have caught Fear, but Fear had a fast car in the rain. He did. He had a really fast car in the rain. I pitted a couple of laps before him, maybe like 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah.
When it first started to dry, and I was hoping I would catch him a little bit, but on the way out of the pits, I got a little bit sideways while it was still raining, almost spun around and slowed me down a little bit. And then when they came out of the pits, I was right behind them instead of right in front of them where I wanted to be. So that got me a little bit.
That did, and even though you weren't battling with Fear as long as we've seen in some other races. You guys have had some really close ones. I have to believe that will reemerge back there up ahead in season 38. Assuming you can make it, season 38, January 12th. You going to be there?
I don't know. With the new job that I have, I don't know exactly if I'll be able to make what races or where, but if I can make the race, I will be there.
Well, that's a good excuse then. The new job, kudos to you, and hopefully it's I think you said it's a promotion, right?
Yes.
Promotion. So, yeah, congratulations.
It was a good promotion.
Yeah, there you go. Same question I had for Fear the Fun. Looking back here at 2020, satisfied with your performance? Did you see yourself getting better? And what was your favorite car of the lot?
Oh, you know what? Since you started, thank you, by the way, for posting all of the old videos on YouTube. If anybody doesn't know that, he has posted all of the back races on his YouTube channel. Go check it out. Go subscribe. I started back, I think I started back with the trucks, and I watched all the truck season. and I came back and watched the one after that. And in the truck season, I timed myself in one of the laps from the video, and then I went back with the same truck, the same build, the same everything, and redid the lap, and I was 2 seconds faster than I was then. So I know I have improved quite a bit, which is due to this series here. It's awesome.
There you go. Another attestation from one of the drivers. If you're looking for a league where you can see yourself improving over time, FM4 is definitely the place to do that. Because you'll find somebody out there on the track that you can compete with, and if you find that you're eventually beating them and then finding yourself racing with other folks, then that's a good indication. Speaking with DOR Carryout here in the driver spotlight as we wrap up season 37, I know you said you may not be able to make it for season 38, depending on what happens with your personal endeavors. But what direction do you want to go with the car? I mean, you talked about coming into FM4 with the F100s. Here we were with the BMWs. Is there something out there better for Carryout to race in?
I would love to see a good Porsche. We've had four-wheel drive, we've had rear-wheel drive, we've had front engine. I think they've had mid-engine, but I don't know if they've ran a nice Porsche yet. Maybe like the 80s or the early 90s Porsche, the GT2. Something like that would be fun. Especially in A-Class or something, it would be really, really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be a good bounce back up to a higher spec, too. We went from S-Class to the Bugatti EB110 last season, dropped down to C-Class here with the Beamer, and to jump back up to, say, A-Class. That would be pretty exciting. DOR Carryout, always a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you for all your, what I'm going to say is endless support of the broadcast, both through speaking with me here in the driver spotlight, but then also participating in our pit lane, our Twitch chat, but then also the extra contributions that you bring to the channel. Anything you want to say to the folks watching here tonight?
Like, comment, subscribe.
There you go. You did my work for me. Thank you so much, Carryout. Hey, man, again, congratulations on the promotion. Have a great rest of 2020, whatever that's worth, and the very best to you and yours into 2021.
Thank you, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right, let's go in here, waiting patiently, CUDA93. And if there's any driver that I would say we saw some improvements from here in season 37, and that's by no means a slight to you, Kuda. I hope you don't take it that way. But we saw you finish here in 7th position, back behind Carryout, in front of Barney. I know you were on the right-hand side of our overall leaderboard, 13th position behind Foontang with 156 points. I don't know. You might jump over Disco Joint and Foontang, or at the very least, Disco Joint, and possibly on the left-hand side of our leaderboard, which would be top 10.
Yeah, that was the goal this season, was to hit top 10 in points. This car definitely fits my style a lot better. But I believe, if I looked at the points sheet right, I think I'd finished up in 9th. So, nice. Mission accomplished.
Even better than top 10. It's such a gratifying feeling when you shoot for top 10 and you're like, yeah, but watch, I'll be 10th, not much more beyond that, that's as far as I can get. And then you find yourself in 9th. What was it about this race here out at Sebring, despite it being in the wet, that had you finishing in 7th?
Lots of track time here and lots of other different cars. And then just lots of practice this week too. And then also some last-minute tuning help from Cratrium as well.
Just another reason to join FM4. I don't think we've gone an interview here at the end of the broadcast without giving a reason for people to join the Forza Spec Racing Series. What was it about that relationship working with Cratrium that allowed you to perform so well, or at least make your car as drivable as it was for you? What happened there?
Well, I had a decent tune going into it, and he had shared his tune with someone else and just made it open for anyone to use. So I actually changed it right before qualifying and was able to knock some more time off. So I went into the race with a fresh tune. I hadn't really driven much, but it worked out.
So you had one that you had built for yourself, it sounds like, and then you said, hey, let me go ahead and pick up one from the best, one of the best drivers that we've got here in FM4 in Cratrium. Is there anything, apart from just making that change to a new tune, was there any insight that he was able to give you, or anything that you gleaned just from the way that the car handled that said, hey, okay, cool. Maybe next season I'll be able to take some lessons learned from those tuning adjustments and apply them to the next car.
Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot of that. Like this season, probably that's what I learned the most is tuning stuff. Most of the season I ran my own tunes based off of things from other drivers. So this was the only race I think from the whole season where I didn't run my tune, just because I didn't feel as comfortable with it, and he was running so much faster anyway. So that's something I'm excited for, as long as it's something similar to this. When you start messing with like front wheel drive and different engine placement, you kind of have to relearn how to tune. But if it's something like this, I feel pretty confident going into next season.
That's something I would definitely benefit from in racing in the FM4. Not that I will, but that's what I would learn probably most is some tuning techniques there. Speaking with Cuda93 here in the driver's spotlight, who again finished 7th out at Sebring, the 30-lapper in the rain. The majority of the race was in the rain, except for maybe 4 or 5 laps. Cuda, we when I used to broadcast races on Sundays, we had a gentleman who was named Dodge, a young man who's named Dodge. He was infatuated with Dodge cars. You've got the Cuda name. What do you want to see in season 38 in terms of vehicle choice from the champion?
Really the name, like I've had the name since I was 9 or 10, and at the time I thought muscle cars were the coolest thing ever. Now I prefer stuff like this, the European BMWs and Mercedes and things like that. So honestly, we could just do this car again next season. I'd be super happy. But I kind of agree with Carrie out what he just said a few minutes ago with having a Porsche or something a little different could be exciting.
What about a Jaguar?
Possibly. It could be a fun series to do, like the little XEs,
yeah,
the little 4-door sedan, something like that, like a little touring car kind of style. Yeah, I'd have to go through and look at the list. My go-to car is a Camaro that I've built up for A-Class, so if we did that, that would be ideal. But I'm sure they'll have something more interesting than that.
Gotcha. I don't know. Camaros would be pretty exciting. We haven't had I would have to look at our vehicle history to pull out the last time we had like a true muscle car on the roster. Of course, as soon as I say that, Slow Motion Fire is going to be like, yeah, Dustin, it was 2 seasons ago. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, chat here with Cuda93. Great account from you in terms of your ability to get better here over the season, over the year, as we've seen you throughout multiple seasons here of the Forza Spec Racing Series, talking about your tuning and all that, and then, of course, your preference going into season 38. Like the others, I wish you as good a 2020 as we can all possibly have at this point, and then hopefully everything is looking much better for us in 2021.
Yeah, we're starting out good already. I actually accepted a new job that I'll start in January today and be moving to a new state and starting fresh. So
well done. Yeah, it's not easy out there, folks. So Cuda, yeah, congratulations to you. Hopefully that works out the way that you want it to, and leads to more awesome opportunity throughout 2021 and beyond. So best to you, and hope to see you in season 38, and hope to chat with you then.
All right, I'll be there.
All right. There we go. There's at least one commitment to season. Well, I should say Fear the Fun. I mean, Fear the Fun is like a no-brainer. He'll be there. But Cuda93 sounding pretty confident about it as well. All right, let's go talk with one of the drivers that I'm probably most curious to hear from. Stevie Superstacks, I think we talked to you earlier on in the season. You kind of foreshadowed the idea that you were not going to be able to make it through the entirety of the season. But here you are in the final race in the wet out at Sebring, able to finish third, pretty good pace, and I think that'll keep you third overall on the leaderboard here in season 37. Can we expect you in season 38 in about 5 weeks?
Oh yeah, I definitely plan on showing up for the next season. Really enjoyed myself this season. It's a good group of guys. Had a lot of fun. Won a few races. So yeah, I will definitely plan on being back.
Are you at all disappointed that you couldn't perform the whole season in the BMW? Was it that good of a car, or are you okay with saying goodbye to this one and getting ready for the next?
I'm kind of looking forward to the next one. It seemed to favor me on the shorter tracks. I went into the season kind of wanting to do well at Maple Valley Short, Rio, and then the other short track is escaping me right now. But I won 2 of those, and I came in second the other, so I was pretty happy with that. Yeah.
Cratrim is a 9-time champion of the Forza Spec Racing Series. and for that reason, he doesn't get to drop a bug in the ear of the champion to say, hey, this is the car that you should pick. So let's just pick you as the next de facto person who gets to drop a line with McQueen and say, hey, this is the car I think we should go with. What car is that?
I wanted to do the Fiat Spider, I think is what it was. Like kind of like it was almost like the Miata. I thought that might be an interesting car. I have faith in McQueen picking something good. I don't think he'll pick something like a pickup truck or something ridiculous. So he's a fast driver. I think he'll pick a good car, and looking forward to it.
I think you're talking about. Are you talking about the Fiat X19? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh God, I can't even remember what it's called. I think you're supposed to pick a car you've never driven before. Yeah. So I was just looking around and I was like, yeah, that one looks good. Sure, why not? It's the Fiat 124 Spider. That's what it was.
Oh, that one. Okay.
The 2017.
The newer.
I was like, yeah, that might look like it might be a little fun.
The newer one. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Kind of like a Mazda Cup car, like a Mazda Cup car type series. That would be awesome, but in the Fiat. And, that would be awesome. There you go, McQueen. Now you know. So make it happen.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see.
Talking with Stevie Superstack here in the driver's spotlight. And pardon me if I've already asked this of you, but what's your history like here in the Forza Motorsport world? Have you been around for a while, or are you one of those who have kind of picked it up over the last one or two titles and you're kind of just a savant at video games and are able to do well no matter how new or fresh you are to it? How long have you been racing in Forza Motorsport?
Yeah, I've been playing Forza for quite a few years now. Don't have as much time to play it as I used to, so I kind of like this league. I just show up and race every week and for an hour or so. So I have time to do that, and I like that about it. But I've been playing Forza since Forza 2, I guess. Nice. It goes all the way back to then.
Yeah.
But still enjoy doing it. It's kind of why I got into a spec series this year. Didn't really have anybody to play with except for one fast guy I race with. So I was like, yeah, it might be fun to get into a league or something like that and race with some new people.
Yep. And let's just say that McQueen, he hears you with the Fiat Spider, the newer version of car in the game, and you, quote-unquote, guess correctly with the spy shots, and then that yields you an opportunity to pick one of the tracks for Season 38. What track are we going to if it's your choice?
Oh, we're going back to Maple Valley Short Reverse.
Ugh. Gross.
I like
love that track.
I mean, obviously I won at it, so I'm kind of partial to it, but I don't know. I might upset everybody and pick that one. So.
Now, I will give it to you. There is something fascinating about a short track with a lot of laps and just having constant traffic going around. And there's something about that makes it interesting.
It's super entertaining to me. It seems like half of the guys probably don't like it, but I think it's hilarious. I think it's really entertaining, and it's just close, good racing the whole time. And you never know what's going to happen. Like in that first race, I ended up hitting a lap car, and it almost cost me the win. So it's unpredictable until the end. I guess that's the fun part about it. So we'll see.
Slow motion fire.
We'll see if I torture people with that one.
Yeah, slow motion fire is all about it. All capitals, yes, and then Foontang saying more short tracks. So you've got at least two folks that are fine with that choice. Stevie,
I'm glad I have a few people on my side. I like them; they're fun.
And they're probably the best advocates you could have. They're slow running the series. Foontang's been a staple of the series, so I think you got. You've got good backing there. I got the right
people on my side right now.
You've got the right people, absolutely. Stevie, well, it has been a pleasure seeing you out there on the track. I only wish we could have seen you all throughout the season. Hopefully that can be the case in Season 38. Any shout-outs here this evening before we say goodbye to you?
Just a shout out to my buddy Sammy J. Peppa if he's watching this. But yeah, that's it. It was great talking to you again, Dustin. I look forward to doing it again next season.
Yeah, Sammy J. Peps, you got to come back over here. Your crew chief, he was AWOL today.
Yeah, he was AWOL. See, the races I didn't do well were the races I didn't practice with him at. So, maybe I'll practice more next season. Maybe I'll go for the championship. Who knows?
There you go. That's the statement that I'm going to go ahead and hit the highlight button, and we're going to rerun that one back whenever you're in the running next season. Stevie, great chatting with you. Best of the remainder of 2020 for you. Happy 2021, and we'll see you in about 5 weeks.
That sounds good. I'll see you then, Dustin.
All right. Now let's go ahead and bring in. See, it took a while for them all to warm up to the idea of hopping in here, but then one name that I fully anticipated seeing in here, giving us our usual end of season wrap-up interview, is Slow Motion Fire. Slow Motion Fire, you were back there, I don't know, 14th, 15th position for the longest time, and then it seemed like you were able to then creep up to 11th. I don't think you were necessarily well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It seemed like Foontang was a little bit out from you all, but I don't know. For a rainy day out at Sebring, how did you take the Sebring finale out here in race number 9 of season 37?
Oh, at the end there, Foontang and I were door panel to door panel crossing the line. So the last third of the race, Foon, Chaos, and myself were just a train of 3 cars. It got pretty tense there, but I was struggling in the rain. The spray there at Sebring, it was just a challenge. You'd have to be poking your nose, running completely offline of the other cars, and then still trying to make up time. So it was a challenge, but I had fun.
You're mentioning the spray. So I know here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, you guys permit drivers to go with whatever camera perspective works best for them. So for some, that might be the third person or behind the car view. For others, that might be hood view or in car view. You're mentioning the spray. So what view are you driving from there?
Running with in car.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, with the spray there at Sebring, it equated to a heavy fog when you got behind somebody.
When you head into a race like that, and I'm guessing you probably maybe thought about it, even if just for a millisecond, do you consider changing your point of view, or are you just so used to that you can't possibly get out of that camera perspective?
That's all I've ever raced in. That's what I know. So I'm not going to change it just for a rain race.
Yeah.
So that's make alterations elsewhere. I'd rather run an alternate line than try and learn how to drive with a different camera.
Talking with Slow Motion Fire, who organizes the Forza Spec Racing Series. So that being said, had you ever considered, I know you're 37 now going on 38 seasons in, so probably not as of late, but was there ever a time in the season or in the series where you said, hey, let's make it mandatory that everybody runs in-car view or something like that?
Oh, no, not with the casual nature of the series.
Yeah. Never. It just thought I'd ask just to see if maybe at some point there was the idea of like, hey, if I'm racing in this view, you shall do the same. But I love the fact that you guys are trying to keep it as accommodating to drivers as possible. Looking at season 38, any change up to the format or anything? I know you went to this. All the drivers stay on the line until the pole sitter initiates the race. Has there been anything else that you, Fear the Fun, or anybody else, Modern Weapon, have considered just to kind of change it up? Or are you guys pretty fixated on keeping things the way that they are heading into 2021?
We're kind of toying around with ideas, switching up the endurance race a little bit, whether that be it's been suggested like a reverse point start. So we're thinking about that. We'll over Christmas we'll discuss that a little more in depth and kind of see what pans out there. But that's probably about the only one that's come up that we're kind of considering going into next season.
Gotcha. So let's take a look at the overall leaderboard, or at least what we saw coming into week number 5, this finale race. You had RZ McQueen, who was at the top of the leaderboard, relatively new to the series. He has raced a few seasons before, but this is his first championship. And Kracham, I don't think we can ever get him in the driver's spotlight. It seems like he's as elusive as heck. Is he disappointed from your understanding, your knowledge of Kracham? Is he disappointed not to be able to pick up his 10th championship here in season 37? Or will he just kind of shrug it off, come back for season 38, and go for it then?
Oh, I have to assume he was disappointed. I mean, just the little bit through the week here, I think he'd really been putting in some time practicing. I think he wanted this one just as much as he's wanted any of them.
Maybe he'll drop a line there in the pit lane, our Twitch chat, with his thoughts. Yeah, when I was sitting there thinking about it.
He doesn't talk to us either, Dustin, so it's nothing personal.
Oh, good. All right. Well, at least I know that much. I was sitting there thinking about that coming into this broadcast. I mean, you had 2 drivers who haven't yet won it. in RZ and McQueen, who now has one under his belt, and then Stevie Superstacks, who we just spoke with. He has not yet won one, and was very close here this season, and might have been a lot closer if he had been there for all 5 weeks. What do you think that means for season 38? Are we going to start to see maybe? And of course, the AMS guys, we didn't have them running here in season 37, but has the Forza Spec Racing Series had this tendency to see drivers kind of come in, show up, win a championship, come out, and then you get yet another new face, another new name vying for the championship? Is that kind of how things have gone?
Yeah, that's not entirely new. I mean,
yeah.
It's happened through the years. I think people just kind of jump in and run it for fun and move on to something else or stick with it. It just, people just kind of come and go.
Just the way it goes. The way it goes.
I don't have data or a survey or anything to give you exact answers of why they come and go, but
well, and that's the great part about you guys being your series being the way that it is that it does allow folks to feel like they can just step away without feeling like they've like they're not like there's not that obligation to be there season in and season out. If you have something else that's going on, this isn't a series where you feel like you must absolutely be there, otherwise you're going to get kicked to the curb by everybody. It's a come in and come out as you need to, which is awesome. That being said, Stevie Superstack says he does plan to be back for season 38. Whether or not McQueen can make it, carry out, Cratrim, I suspect, will be there. Stevie seems like a name that we might see running for the championship there. Quite a competitor out there on the track.
Yeah, and those top 5 or so guys, 6 or so guys, they're quick in whatever the car choice is. It's really the rest of the field where you see kind of the interesting changes that some guys will be quick in the front wheel drive cars, some guys will be quick in the all wheel drive cars, and you get some interesting shuffling there season to season. All of a sudden, somebody that was slow in, whatever the Bugattis is now running kind of top of that pack in the BMWs. So that's always fun to see with the new car choices.
That it is. Just a couple of comments here in the pit lane. Cratrim saying that I'm bad luck for him. He hasn't won a championship in any of the seasons that I've broadcast. So he wants the broadcast to go away is essentially what I'm reading from that there, Slow. And then Futang saying that he's just gotten slower and slower as the seasons have gone on.
Yeah, I can associate with Foon there.
Oh, you can associate. I thought you were going to vouch for him. I thought you were going to say, yeah, Foon has gotten slower over the years.
Oh, well, I can vouch for that too. Together, we've both gotten slower and slower.
Oh my. Well, hey, Slow, always great chatting with you. I'm actually a little remiss that I didn't think a little bit more ahead of time that this was the final official race of 2020 here for the Forza Spec Racing Series. I think maybe you guys will do some off-season stuff between now and the new year. But looking back at 2020, would you say this is one of the more successful years? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but how do you summarize 2020 in terms of FM4?
I don't know.
All right, well, we'll end it on that then.
I like some of the changes we've implemented. So yeah, overall better than the last year for FM4. The year in general, no.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not asking the year in general. I think we all can attest to how that's gone, but no, that just the FM4 series itself.
Yeah, I think the changes we've implemented this year and the last couple seasons here with the start procedure, I really like how that's been working, and yeah, we've been filling the grids for the most part, and we've had some really good racing here in some of these cars. So, agreed.
I'd have to go back and look to see what all the vehicles were that were run here in season 2020, but I can't think of a season where I'm like, well, that just didn't pan out the way that anybody would have hoped. That I think they all were really good. I know maybe perhaps different lenses, you the organizer, me as the broadcaster, but it was all great fun, and I look forward to 2021. So Motion Fire, any shout outs for you to the drivers and the viewers?
Well, the guest the go live tomorrow for anybody that wants to participate in that. Change Up, Modern Weapon, has taken them this time, so everybody can take any of their quarrels up with him rather than me. Send all your hate mail to Modern. And just shout out and thanks to everybody that runs with us. I mean, it wouldn't be possible without any of these drivers, and they do an awesome job keeping it fun and friendly, and nobody takes it too seriously, and that makes my job as a moderator that much easier. And for that, thanks to all of them.
And just quickly, for anybody who might be new to FM4 or is interested in FM4, the formalities that they have to go through. It's just filling out a registration form, right? Getting the number boards, making sure that you're upgrading the vehicle, and then you're all good to go. Correct?
There might be the occasional quiz in there with some questions that seem very out of place, but if you're new, just overlook those. They don't mean anything.
All right, so the formalities, not so formal. Just complete the registration form. Tell them your gamer tag and who you are, and grab yourself a number board. And if you're new to the series, you'll have the orange ones, or if you're a veteran, you'll continue on with the S's, with the green. Slow Motion Fire, well done here in 2020. Yes, everything else aside, the Forza Spec Racing Series, at least from my vantage point, has been an absolute blast. I look forward to season 38 come the new year, and my best wishes to you and yours through the next 23 days as we turn the calendar into 2021.
Oh, right back at you, Dustin. And thanks for all you do with the broadcasts. It's awesome. Top level stuff.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. I wouldn't be doing it still if I didn't enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy coming here on Tuesday evenings. It's such a great way to head into the midweek, but then on top of that, the racing is stellar. The interviews, the chatting with the drivers is awesome. And if you're listening and you're watching and you are looking for a league, the Forza Spec Racing Series, one of the longest run community leagues that you will find out there, and quite possibly the best. And I'm pitting them up against the Toras and any of the other organized leagues that exist out there. I'm not saying that FM4 is better in the position that the drivers are that much more exceptional or that the attitudes are that much better, but just saying that you couldn't really anticipate season in and season out things running as smoothly as they do with FM4. It happens like clockwork. And of course, I know Slow Motion Fire has Modern Weapon and Fear the Fun to thank for that. But man, predictably, you know that there's a season that'll happen, and it happens, and you know that each race is going to be fairly clean. There might be a few bumps, there might be a few incidents here and there. They'll go ahead and where they need to add some feedback to say what could have been done differently, they most certainly will. But apart from that, you put the race behind you and you move on to the next one, and you do that for 9 races. They take your top 4 weeks worth of points out of the 5. Those are your championship points. And even if you're not vying for the championship, just see how well you can do and then try to top that the next season and the next and the next. And before you know it, I guarantee you'll find yourself running faster than usual. LS Unku saying, hopefully I'll be able to race in a season or 2 next year, just depending on schedule. Unku, we would love to see you out there on the track along with any of the other LS drivers. Lightspeed team has been hugely supportive of a lot of what I've done here on X Venture, previously known as Virtual Autosports. So the more LS names out there I see, the better, at least in my opinion. I know that makes it a little bit difficult for some of the other drivers, because once you start seeing those team tags in front of the driver names, that's often a cause for concern, because you're like, oh, here comes some speed. But it doesn't matter. The diversity in the skill set, the ability out on the track is unparalleled, and you got a place here in FM4 if you're open and wanting to race. Just keep it clean. All right, folks, we've got one order of business that we must absolutely get to, and I know we've gone a little bit long here, but that's just because it's the end of a season. It's the end of a year, 2020, for the Forza Spec Racing Series, so I wanted to make sure I gave everybody a chance to weigh in and have their voice be heard and get a chance to answer some questions. But we've got a giveaway, the $50 digital gift card for one lucky viewer. For those of you who submitted your channel points. You can't do so now. We're 36 minutes past the entry period. But what we will do is we will defer now to the X-Venture Wheel of Luck. Now, here's how this works. You see a bunch of names up on the screen. This may or may not be all the entries, but what this system does is if there are some entries that you're not seeing on the screen, it cycles them in because it's just trying to make it so that the names are legible. That being said, I believe we have all the entries realized on this wheel because, let's see, my settings for it are for a maximum of 150 names displayed on the wheel, and we had a total of 95 entries. So I gave you all that heads up, and really it doesn't even apply here. And oh my gosh, I've started the wheel. So here we go. We're going to get our winner. And I botched it where I don't have it in full screen mode, so apologize that the overlay looks a little off there. But we will have our $50 digital gift card winner with this spin. Who is it going to go to? It's passing carry out. DWM Frog, will it be Skyward 9? I think it is. It's taking a little bit. There you go. Da-da-da. I don't know if Skyward 9's here. Skyward, if you're in the chat, let me know. You don't have to be here to win, but if you're here, congratulations. You've won yourself a choice of a $50 gift card either to the Xbox store, PlayStation Store, or Steam. Now, if you are outside the United States, the former two, the PlayStation and the Xbox One, those can only be redeemed regionally in the United States. If you opt for Steam, that can be redeemed anywhere. It'll just be the $50 converted into your currency. But if you're stateside, then that doesn't matter. Just completely ignore any of that. But Skyward 9 is the winner, and if Skyward is not here to respond in the chat, that's again okay. You don't have to be here to redeem your winnings. I will reach out to Skyward 9, and Skyward, if you're watching this back and hearing me say this, if you don't have your whispers turned on Twitch, make sure that you have those at least temporarily opened so that I can send you a whisper here on Twitch with the question of, hey, which one do you want? Which gift card do you want? So Skyward 9, congratulations, and thanks for your viewership all throughout the different broadcasts. I know Skyward 9 shows up not only here on Tuesdays, but has been seen, I think, on the Friday Hauling for the Weekend broadcast and elsewhere. So, man, it looked really close there. It looked like DWM Frog, he had two little panels there on the wheel, but it just inched a little bit forward over to Skyward, and Skyward's the winner. There you go. All right, folks, before I close things up, let's just chat about what's ahead here on the broadcast over the next couple of weeks. And yes, I do absolutely mean weeks. But let's first start with what's coming up on Friday. Hauling for the Weekend. Again, just as I mentioned during the race, we will be venturing outside of the state boundary of Colorado. We'll be checking out other parts of the West here in American Truck Simulator. We've been in Colorado because it's new DLC, but now we've seen quite a bit. So let's go. Let's stretch our truck's legs a little bit and go hauling elsewhere. So Arizona, New Mexico, California, Nevada, Utah, Washington, Idaho, Oregon—they're all on the table. Come check it out and enjoy the fun that is Hauling for the Weekend. My trials and tribulations of being a truck driver and an owner of the Moore Trucking Company in American Truck Simulator. That's 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday. We'll get going with that, and don't miss it. It's always a lot of fun. It's a chance for me to get behind the sticks, and you guys can make fun of me and how that goes. Another one that I love all the broadcasts. These 3 broadcasts a week. I know they're all different times, so it doesn't make it easy for the lot of you to catch every single broadcast. But, man, another one that's just as fun as the others. Saddle Up Sundays on Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Will be 10 a.m. this Sunday for episode number 4. Like I said during the races, maybe in the next couple of weeks we might be expanding upon those time slots just to give us a little bit more time to get chunks of the story completed. So I'll have information on that if indeed that happens to be the case. But for the purposes of this coming Saddle Up Sunday, it will be the normal 10 a.m. Eastern time for about 2.5 hours. As we do episode 4, the story continues to unravel there in Red Dead Redemption 2. Having a lot of fun with that one. What else do we have? Well, I think that's it for regular broadcast. And then, starting a week from tonight, we roll into Season of Simulation. And this is to kind of fill up the void that will be the lack of Forza Spec Racing Series over the next 4 weeks. A week from tonight, we'll be hopping into Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. So that's next Tuesday, December 15th. And then 2 weeks from tonight, Elite Dangerous will be jumping into the space world of Elite Dangerous, the craziness that is an entire galaxy simulated in game form. But what we're going to do is we're just going to take a tour of the solar system, the Sol solar system, and Sol being our sun. So our solar system, we'll take a look at that. Just kind of a way to kind of scooting around, casually play the game. I'm not going to do any deliveries or any missions or anything like that. It's just legitimately going from Mercury all the way out to Pluto and some of the moons and all that stuff. And we may land on a couple of the moons and planets just to check them out. But just like I said, a way to kind of casually go through the motion of playing Elite Dangerous. It's December 22nd, so it's heading into the holiday, and it'll be fun. I do want to throw out there, and you don't see it here on this graphic, but the Hauling for the Weekend of the week of the 21st will actually happen on Wednesday, December 23rd, and then I'll be off the 25th, obviously, which will be Christmas. That would be normally the day of Hauling for the Weekend, but know that December 23rd at 6 p.m. Eastern, we will do Hauling for the Weekend. I'll have more information on that as we go through the next 4 broadcasts. And then 3 weeks from tonight, City Skylines will go ahead and build a city in City Skylines there on December 29th. And then 4 weeks from tonight, and the first broadcast of it won't be the first broadcast of 2021, but it'll be the first Tuesday broadcast of 2021 there on January 5th. Hop into Microsoft Flight Simulator. I've been meaning to get back into Microsoft Flight Simulator, but they've done quite a few updates as of late, and so I've been kind of waiting for things to stabilize a little bit because we had some bugs that we were experiencing that were getting quite annoying. I think we're at a point that it's a little bit more stable, so we'll be hopping into Microsoft Flight Simulator again. That's 4 weeks from tonight, January 5th. What we're going to do in there yet, I don't know yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Gray's Skyward. Gray's, oh my gosh, I give up, says Born as Ghost. He's trying to say congrats there, Skyward 9. Yes, indeed. So that's what's happening over the next 4 Tuesdays with the absence of the Forza Spec Racing Series. And then on January the 12th, unless things change with Slow Motion Fire and Company, January 12th, not the 24th, but January 12th will be the return of the Forza Spec Racing Series Season 38. In what vehicle? We don't know, but like Slow said, they Modern plans to get the spy shots or the macro photography of that car up tomorrow. And if you are a participant in Season 38, or you get registered to race in Season 38, if you guess the car correctly, you get to pick one of the tracks for Season 38 to be run. So, fun stuff there. A great way to continue to be involved with Forza Spec Racing Series even during the off-season. And then Slow Motion Fire, Modern Weapon, and Fear the Fun, without a doubt, will coordinate some intermission events or some events here during the off season for you to get involved in if you'd like to hang out with those guys and gals, even though the season is not underway. Okie dokie, folks. Well, that was enough rambling. A lot of stuff, right? A whole lot of stuff. A lot of reasons to be excited here for future broadcasts. My unrelenting, unwavering thanks to all the viewers, every single one of you who have watched a few minutes, at the very least, of the broadcast over the last 5 here of Season 37. If you're not yet a follower, please click the follow button. And for those of you who can go above and beyond with a subscription, you don't have to, but if you're able to and you can't support the channel that much more with a Twitch Prime sub or a monetary subscription, those proceeds go back to the broadcast in the form of production, but then also for giveaways like that one we had tonight. And like I said, if things are looking good, heading into season 38, then we may very well have ourselves another raffle there for season 38. Just another way for you all to get back what you put in to the channel. So fun stuff there. If you consider it and you decide to do so, even when the broadcast is off, know that whenever we come back live this Friday, I will acknowledge your subscription there. So it never escapes me when people subscribe. The only time that it does is when people do it anonymously or choose not to have it celebrated. They opt for not recognizing their subscription, which is quite all right by me. I however you wish to patronize the channel is completely on you. And then for those of you here throughout season 37 that have followed, thank you. Hope to see you season 38. Hope maybe we can catch you on one of these Friday, Sunday, or other Tuesday broadcasts over the next 5 weeks. At the very least, hopefully we'll see you in about right at 5 weeks on January 12th. Consider racing in the Forza Spec Racing Series. I'll put the link in here one more time, reddit.com/r/FM4. There you go. Nightbot's got you covered. Thank you so much, Shafire. Absolutely. That does it. The last race of the Forza Spec Racing Series in 2020, but not my last broadcast of 2020. So come hang out with me this Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to have ourselves a lot of fun. American Truck Simulator. Be there or be square or rectangular because you'll be in the cargo bay. I don't know. It's getting late. Y'all take care. Have a great one. Stay happy. Stay healthy. Adios. Goodbye.